What's up, guys? It's Cooper Webb, and you're listening to the MotoXpod.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Aaron Plessinger, and you guys are listening to the MotoXpod.
Save me from myself. My arms and legs are bound. Like an aging corpse from another world. I'll scream the truth 6 feet underground. Feel alive inside yourself. Watch your enemies dispel. If I can find a way to avoid this fate.
What's up? Welcome back to the Vital MX MotoXpod, presented by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. As always, we love our presenting sponsors. We appreciate them. We'll get into some reads and tell you about those sponsors in just a few minutes. We're back. This is episode 359. Great guest lineup tonight. We've got Muck-Off FXR, Club MX Yamaha's Coty Schock, who's been riding really well, getting better every week, and then from Team Green and Keefer Inc., Aden Keefer is going to jump on. And we've got the 2024 WMX champion and the current 2025 points leader in WMX, Lachlan Turner, all on the night. Give a little love to the WMX. But yeah, we just got done with Thunder Valley. Chance Hymas with an absolutely perfect day. Really cool to see. Jet Lawrence wins again. As I said, Lachlan Turner, she wins the WMX race on Pro Day. That's pretty nice to see them on TV. So a lot of cool stuff we're going to talk about tonight. We'll have some fun, get to all our segments like the X-Brand Forum check-in, T-Boat USA Top 5, all that stuff. But once again, in studio, ever reliable, Scotty Thompson. What's up, dude?
Oh, just, doing all right. Didn't get pizza today, so I guess I'll move on from that. It was a great run.
Sorry, man. It's outside my budget.
Yeah.
Yep. It's outside my budget, and things are changing. So, no pizza tonight. But, yeah. Did you watch Thunder Valley?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you like it?
I have a question for you, actually, once we get into that.
We'll get to that in a minute. By the way, I don't know if you looked. Well, I'll get to it in a second. Also in studio for at least another week. Dumbass went and got a job, so he might be out for a little bit. But TJ Smith.
Hey, it's like what is it, like one door shuts, another one opens, your door's shut, and then my door, now I go back to work?
I'd feel a lot better if both of you had no jobs.
We both have jobs, and now you don't. So,
yeah. I mean, I have a job right now.
For right now.
What's crazy is all this, I've had a job the whole time, and y'all just can't, y'all are older
you
than
were
me.
jobless for a minute.
2 days.
2
days.
Yeah.
That was jobless.
Okay.
Well, we lots to talk about. We're going to start off, as always, with the Yamaha Motor USA opening chat. Yamaha still crushing it. Hayden Deegan going 2-2 this week, which we'll probably talk about that a little bit. But they're still leading the points in the 250 AMA Pro Motocross Championship. I think he's up by like 25 points. Eli Tomac with another podium. And then, as we've already said, Lachlan Turner leading the points. She's gone 2-2 or 2-1-1, I believe, in the series so far this season. So Yamaha doing good things. I don't know if any of you guys were at the Yamaha Blue Crew Invitational this weekend at Oak Hill. If you did, hit us up at motoxpodshow@gmail.com. I'd love to hear about that event. But Yamaha, a reputation for dominance. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades. That YZ story is over 50 freaking years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha took the championship winning bikes and made them even better because the best don't rest. So check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com or go to your local dealership. See all that they have to offer. I was going to say, Scotty, that the first question is about Thunder Valley and layout. If you want to put that thing up right now.
Sure.
I can start with that, or what's your question pertinent to?
Thunder Valley.
Go ahead and go with it.
I was going to say that first moto.
Okay.
Just coolest, exciting, edge of your seat races that we've seen in a long time. How would you rank them? Like, how would you... Like, is that the best race of the year so far? Or was the Paula and Eli and Jet race better? I'm
going to go with Eli and Jet Moto 1 at Paula.
Moto 2
at Paula was really, really badass.
You think it was better?
Yeah, I think so. I really enjoyed Thunder Valley and AP pushing Jet for a little bit and Hunter leaving Eli. And
that was interesting.
There was some really good stuff within that one, but I think that tight battle between Eli and Jet in Moto 2 at Fox was probably my favorite of the year so far. But Thunder Valley was really cool to see AP like just getting closer and closer. We talked about that last week. You know, will he or Justin Cooper get a moto win first? And like he's right there, but I'm really not sure anybody's going to really get a overall over Jet this season.
Yeah, nobody pointed out that once again he lost the lead with like less than 3 laps to go.
I saw in the group text.
Yeah, I said
but
that.
I just don't. I think Jet must have had kind of a bad lap, and he
he
said
did that.
Who they did?
He did an interview with Steve, I think is who it was.
Okay.
Or it may have been because he did an interview with Steve and with Lewis. It may have been with Lewis now that I think about it. But he said he had a couple bad laps.
Yeah.
And then but I'm just saying once again. I mean, nobody pointed out that the Cowboy loses it with less than 3 laps to go.
Why are you always focused on negative? Why are you
That's his
so
job.
negative?
That's true.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's my job.
I'll stay in my lane.
If AP was on the phone, I might lead with that, but he's not.
How does it feel to lose a lead again, AP?
Yeah,
that's
geez,
exactly
AP.
what you would ask.
Come on,
right off the
Aaron.
bat.
I could ask him that. I think he'd be fine.
yeah.
But AP looks like really. I mean, he's this is the best AP we've ever seen outdoors, right?
What's better?
Okay,
to
cool.
lose the
Okay,
lead,
cool. Right on. Yeah, cool.
to lose the lead like that, or to lead it all the way to like the last 3 laps and then lose
Or
it.
like just think about Hangtown last year with 1 to go, and this year too, right? With 1
Yeah.
to go or
Yeah.
2 to go, 2 to go.
Kind
This
of
year.
it's kind of what he's
2
getting
to go.
at.
But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, which one? If you, not for him, but what would you rather?
I guess I'd rather lose it earlier than the last lap.
No, you lose the last lap no matter what, but you fight,
Oh.
catch him, pass him because he had some bad laps, or do you hold on to it the whole race and then lose it at the end?
I think I would rather the way this one happened, rather than having like a 4-second gap like the whole race and then losing it in the last 2 laps.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah. Okay, not a bad question, Scotty. We'll give you a small prop. For
I didn't
that.
ask that question.
No, but the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, and pop that question up. But Thunder
Yeah,
Valley had a
already
new
up.
layout. You and I, Scotty, have rode that track. TJ bailed on his friends and didn't go.
Yeah.
We rode the old layout. When I first saw the new layout, I didn't see the section. They do it every year, but I didn't see it on the map where right before the finish line it cuts down, it comes back up. But when
we didn't ride that.
No, we didn't. So I didn't realize that section was on the race day before the race started. But I did see the newer part at the top, and I was like, "Whoa, that looks like really short." I felt like they cut a whole bunch out, and I was kind of like, "This might not be very good."
I don't think it was. To be honest with you, from after now that I have rode it, I was looking at it. It's not. It's the same like stuff. It's just kind of rerouted. Like I don't think it was that much different.
When you go all the way to the top off the
Yeah,
start
I know.
and come all the way down, like we zigzag back like twice before.
Yeah, but you zigzag longer going back up and down the hill rather than the shorter zigzags.
Make a big difference. But it didn't.
I liked
cool.
it. I liked
that's
the
question.
longer. I liked the longer up and down hill.
Yeah.
More than the off camber zigzags because they were like, especially riding it, like both of those zigzags kind of felt the same to me. Like they were. It was like the same thing like twice.
A little bit.
And this was a little different, I think.
So you really like this new layout?
I mean, it was
It made for pretty good racing.
Yeah.
If you're listening, you watch on YouTube, or I guess only if you're watching YouTube, let us know. Even if you're not, if you're listening to post, MotoXpod@gmail.com. If you like this new layout, and the question I think the way I worded is, should tracks almost be not like should they be required every third year to make a fairly significant change?
Like 25% of the track needs to be different, or I mean
That might be a little too excessive, but like at least one section, change it. Take a jump out, add something new, put in a different turn, something that's fairly significant, so it's not almost exactly the same every year. Like Iron Man has made a bunch of changes over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I like that. A lot of riders go,
Paula
the old
made some
track's better,
changes.
but I think like if you were forced to change, let's say 15%, however you decide to fix that, every 3 years, I kind of would like that rule.
I feel like most places naturally kind of do that. And like that's fine. Like if that was to be the change, like I'd be cool with it too. But also like at the same time, you're never really like you can go ride the same track 100 times in a year. And like, it's really not ever going to be the exact same 100 times. Lines form different. The weather, temperature, amount of rainfall they've had before or after or whatever, all that kind of makes the track different every time anyways. So it's like, to me, that plus just natural degradation of the track is honestly enough for me. I think that kind of does it. I mean, yeah, it's cool when they add new obstacles and stuff.
That's basically what I'm getting at.
But
it's kind of
like,
cool to change it.
It's cool every once in a while. I don't think it has to have it. I'm fine with it if they don't change it.
Well, yeah, they added that tree section to
Iron Man,
and people don't like it. You know,
okay.
so there's.
I like the tree section at Iron Man.
Well, what I was gonna get at is there's a few things that you could add it, and then if people don't like it, you change it again. But
sure.
But then there's like Larocco's Leap. We don't want them to change that.
Yeah, I'm
but
not saying you got to change the iconic thing, but
well, I was gonna say but they changed the run up to it. Yeah. It used to go way out in the parking lot, and 125s were hitting it.
Or sometimes like every once in a while tracks change direction. Yeah, let's try that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I like to see a little bit of change. That was cool. Like it wasn't the same Thunder Valley. And I found myself at times watching going, okay, I remember that section. Oh, they changed this. And I was kind of relating to what they were doing and thinking, oh, that's cool that they changed it. That'd be fun to ride.
I'll take a little bit opposite approach. Like Redbud, Larocco's Leap, for example, you would do Larocco's Leap and then do a 180 and then tabletop down and the whoop section back up. And there was more there. I know they kind of still do it before Larocco's Leap now, but I don't know.
Last year they did the leap and then they 180 and they did come back.
I guess they did change it back.
Because before,
for a while,
Larocco's Leap, hang a left, hang a right.
Yeah, I'm talking about way back. Like it used to. I guess they went back to that. So I don't know. Change it up. That's fine.
But okay. So the question was though, should they be required to?
No.
No, I don't think required.
Yeah, I guess required.
This is not communism.
Okay.
This is America.
All right, America. They did a good job though recovering from the weather. If you saw the photos Thursday, Friday, yeah, it was
honestly like if that's what it turns into, then even if it doesn't rain the week before the race, they should just drown the track.
No, don't do that.
Because that made some really good racing.
It did, but I think they did a lot of work to make that thing. To make it raceable.
I think Jet would have been gone even more if it wouldn't have been as bad as it is.
So when we went and rode it at the end of beginning of last fall, I went back after we rode it and watched like some GoPros from the National earlier that year, and I was like, wow, like when we rode was way deeper and ruddier than this, and
I disagree.
Than the National last year.
Okay.
I did I watched it like some of the corners like you could actually like go in like the middle of them and it had like one good line. Like when we were riding it, there was like 4 or 5 lines deep in the middle that you just couldn't go in. Like it was way deeper when we rode it. I think in some spots of the
compared
track.
to last year's.
Yeah, and then this year was way deeper than what we rode.
Yeah,
so
that was brutal.
I disagree with TJ about making it too. Yeah, it looked way. I was like, I know how that got because we rode a little bit of that.
It reminds me of the year that Stu went down. At Lakewood, that was about that deep is what it looked like.
Yeah, like when we rode it, like normally, you kind of want to be one of the first people on the track because it's just so primo. But like no, like you didn't. You didn't want to be. I let people go for 20, 30 minutes before I went out because it was just so deep.
I'm going to get to the next question, but after this next question, Scotty, you were outside trying to kill yourself. Okay. So I want you to
unalive. You gotta say it right.
Unalive yourself. I want you to think about like a rider or two that still is a positive surprise and a little bit of a underwhelming.
450 or it doesn't matter?
I was going to do both, but whatever. It's just one, either or, both. So just think about it while we're doing this next question.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Moto 1, which we talked about a little bit, you brought up. The biggest surprise out of that to me was that Eli was not able to pressure Hunter and then got gapped and like he wasn't making up any time. And that really, we've talked about in the years past, right? The weirdo Eli rides. That was a little bit of a weirdo ride. Scotty, you're disagreeing. Go ahead.
No, finish your thought first.
That's really it. I'm just like, why are you not pushing ahead? Like, why are you not catching Hunter and AP pretty easily? And like, he didn't make up any time really.
Because there was the lines hadn't developed yet, and he couldn't do any. It was kind of the fast line. They were going fast enough.
Like Hunter took off pretty easily, caught up to Jet.
Yeah,
I mean, just kind of hung out back there.
Yeah, it's just he also said he went through like 23 tear-offs too. So he's probably trying to fight that, and it's like I can't keep going up there and getting just roosted, or else I'm going to get myself into a first. And then the second moto, the other lines developed, and he went from like 20th to like second. So like,
I'm only talking about first moto. I was surprised because
I was surprised too, but I don't think it was a weirdo Eli race. I think it was just because the track wasn't worked in well enough.
I think a weirdo Eli race is him getting like 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah, which he's done in the past before, especially Supercross.
Yeah.
So nothing you didn't catch you off guard, TJ, or anything?
I mean,
Like,
I
no big
expected
deal?
him to
just
do
sit
better.
back there like that.
Yeah, that was a little weird, but I don't think
Okay.
I'm going to call
That's
it
all I'm saying.
a totally weird
All right.
Eli race.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So the next question, as I said, who's kind of standing out? Who is surprising, maybe not performing as much as you thought or would hoped, or et cetera. So for me, and I think they're pretty obvious, but AP is exceptional. I just said this might be the best AP we've really ever seen.
I agree.
Very, very impressed with what he's got fourth, second, third in the series. He's crushing it. Really, he's riding really well. Yeah, like maybe if Chase is here, it doesn't look as good, probably, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe even if Kenny's here, maybe for a little bit Kenny is in front of him. But I'm very, very impressed with Aaron Plessinger this season. That's really my point. And then the biggest obvious disappointment is the Jorge Prado one. Like,
there's people that were claiming him to win the title.
Like what is going on? We've heard the issues about needing more power, and I actually got a text today from an insider with that team, which I'm really surprised to even be saying that, because I wasn't. I haven't talked to this person in a long, long time and wasn't expecting the text. And he's like, "Look, man, Jorge, the reason he didn't finish the second moto was he hates the bike. He said he hates the suspension, he hates the engine, he hates the chassis, and he was done." Now, whether that's accurate, I'm just telling you what I heard. Like, that's pretty significant. And we have kind of, like, Jason's not riding that bike very good, right? He's had issues.
That's somebody on my bummer list.
Okay.
Jason.
And so there's issues at Kawasaki, it seems like, with that bike, which obviously makes you kind of wonder how the situation with Chase is going to go if that's.
Well, Chase is not picky about the bike. He never complains about the bike.
Yeah. But the Prado thing,
go ahead.
What the hell? Like, do they just say, forget it? I'm going back to the GPs. Does he keep trying? Like, is he going to get frustrated? Is the team frustrated? How do they get past this? I don't know that they do. I think it's going to be a disaster the whole season.
I mean, how is it not going to be a disaster the rest of the season?
They could find a magic setting and he could be fine all of a sudden, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I think that he's going to have, and like I said, I picked him to win the championship. I really did. I didn't think he was going to win every race.
That now, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said that a second ago.
That's right.
Yeah,
that went over my head.
Do we need to hit the button?
Yeah, but
we'll give him this one.
That's you. That's the idiot that didn't.
Oh, I thought he meant idiot for picking Prado.
Well, both of us are the idiots here.
Well, fine.
No.
Stop acting like an idiot. You're the idiot.
Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
That being said, I was an idiot and thinking because, like, I thought he had more time on the bike, and I didn't seem like anybody had a clue that it was so bad over there. And I think that's the biggest thing to me. Obviously, I've never been on a pro factory race team. But is either one of y'all ever bought a bike that was so bad that you're just like, I got to sell this thing, get rid of it, I got to get something else?
No. But I'm not.
Doesn't matter. I mean,
well, it matters because we're not as in tune as they are, where like the slightest little thing ruins their day.
But what I'm getting at is,
I just go, I suck. That's why it's doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do with a good bike if it slapped me in the face.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like, so I've never ridden a bike and been like, wow, that is so bad. Like, this is so bad I couldn't race it. I don't even know how somebody.
I did feel like I went from a KX85 to a KTM 125, and it took some adjusting to get the suspension stuff right. But going from an 85 to a big bike, I couldn't do a lap on that KTM without getting violent head shake. And at first, I was like, "Yeah, I'm fucked,"
Well,
but
you don't like riding my bikes
better.
because of my bars.
See, I love the way
I would adjust.
But what I'm getting at is, but if you couldn't adjust it, if that's as good as it could get.
No, what I'm saying is, okay, I'm interrupting you, I know, but I would get used to your bars in a couple of rides.
That's what I'm saying.
So I wouldn't have to. I would.
And that's what I'm trying to get at is, how can somebody at his level, which I think that it's up there, like upper echelon. Look at how much he's won in the GPs, and it's either the GPs are weak, which I don't believe that, or he's just unable to admit or to change his way. He's unable to change his riding style to suit the bike.
That might be. Like, I was going to say that they're just, at that level, they're so picky about every little minute thing that Like he's not maybe he's not willing to go, okay, I'm just going to ride through this. Whereas a Jet, for example, who's saying, hey, we're having problems with this bike, but he figures it out. He just rides it and he still makes it work.
Donnie in the chat brought up a good point that this is a production bike. He's used to racing works bikes.
Yeah, well,
Like,
that's part of it.
How can that be such a big difference? Because the works bikes
It's got to be
are
huge.
almost just next year's bikes, right? I mean, like, isn't that kind of how it
Not
works?
a-
No, dude,
I think.
they go out and test like 8 different frames, and they can change the
Swing
frame
arm
depending
lengths,
on the terrain that they're about to go ride on. Like he's never had to do that. He's never had to ride the same frame,
Right.
no matter what. My point on the whole thing, my take on the whole thing is more of, if I'm Chase and I haven't signed the dotted line yet and I'm seeing this, I'm really reconsidering what moves are. I don't know if that's kind of too late, but I would be pooping out a couple bricks if I'm Chase right now.
I think it's too late. We did get an email, and this came from Vince last week, but I didn't read it. But he asked, Prado and Webb are racing approximately the same positions after 6 motos. I'm hoping we see some big improvements and these guys can get up there and battle for the podium. So it's actually a statement, but he's right. Like Webb and Prado both have had one really, really bad moto. Cooper at Hangtown Moto 2 or Fox Moto 2. Prado this weekend, Moto 2. But they're both right there. I think there are only a few points. I had it wrote down. There's very few points between them. I don't know where I have it wrote down, but it's pretty close. And I expect a little more out of Prado because world champion, and Webb hasn't done much outdoors in the last few years. So I also, Vince, want to see improvements out of them. I don't know. I feel like Webb is going to improve more throughout the season than Prado.
Yeah.
I
don't know, man. He pulled that. He was up in the front in the start, and then he exited stage left like 3 lefts in. Like
4-point difference between Webb and Prado, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think if Prado is at the point, if that's true, and he did just not go back out or finish because he hates the bike so much, that's a pretty negative mindset. And Webb is seemingly just, hey, I'm having fun. I'm trying to get better, and we're enjoying this.
He wasn't expected. He doesn't have the expectations. That outdoors.
So yeah, maybe more out of Webb.
Are we gonna do our disappointments or whatever surprises?
That was kind of mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
I would say that collectively the gap between the top 2 or 3 guys in the 250 class compared to the rest of the field, like that was like in the scenario where Hymas and Deegan in the first moto and Deegan's bike starts going, there's like y'all got to be there. Like that was y'all's chance.
Yeah,
he was 54 seconds ahead of him. And he literally like probably doubled his lap time almost, and not doubled, but he added probably 20, 30 seconds to his lap time, and they still didn't catch him.
Yeah.
It's your chance.
Yeah, like that was y'all's chance. Like he should have probably, like if that was anytime anywhere else, anybody else, and you're in second and your bike goes, he should have finished like 15th, 16th, and he still got second. Like y'all got to be closer.
Shimoda and Marchbanks, who are probably the next 2 best guys. Bad starts, not just struggling.
Still
to come through.
55 seconds like that. That was.
It doesn't take long. When
I know that that's probably track dependent. That hasn't happened really every race, but I mean, that was crazy.
So yours is basically the rest of the field is your negative or
disappointment a little bit, and then I would say, since you already picked AP, I will say that I'm half torn between like. I expected Tomac to be this good, but I wasn't expecting to see beast mode this fast. Like the couple that I know it hasn't really, it doesn't show that on the results sheet, but his riding
he's had it a few times.
But his riding has been great, and then also I didn't expect Hunter. I expected Hunter to be 3rd or 4th. Same with AP, expected to be 3rd or 4th, but I didn't think they'd be that close to Jet and Eli as much as they have been. Okay. I know they kind of gapped them in the second motos of a couple of these rounds, and it's still really early, but they have done. They've been closer. Like I wouldn't have expected a 4-rider battle this soon into the season with those 4 guys.
Yeah.
So that'd be one of my surprises.
Okay. TJ?
Yeah. I would say my positive would be Benny for how bad the first race went to like 13-13. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of really fast guys ahead of him. Being in the top 15 is pretty dang good. And then another positive would have been Masterpool, especially after we found out how sick he was. Like literally like not feeling that good or whatever, and still being able to pull like a top 4.
Yeah.
I mean that's good. I mean it's really really good. And then I think I'm a little bit, and maybe this is wrong, I expected more out of Harrop.
Yeah, I didn't know enough about him, but
Yeah.
I obviously was listening to Lewis.
Yeah.
And I expect him to be a little better than
I was thinking consistently in the top 10, like right around top 5.
Yeah.
That's what I was
5 to
expecting.
7 was what was in my mind.
Yeah, he got 7th
5 to
first
8,
moto,
yeah.
but 13th the second moto. So I didn't see what happened, but
I didn't look at the Triumph PR,
right,
which I should have, because that guy, the Triumph PR rider, has a lot to deal with this
Insights?
season. Huh?
a lot of insights.
He's got a lot to deal with this season. Just a lot of stuff going on at Triumph with him trying to figure things out. So I should have read it, but I haven't read it yet.
I want an honorable mention, J Mart. Disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of expectations there, but
I was saying podium, wasn't I? You're not joking.
I said that. I said it wouldn't surprise me if he pulled a whole shot
Yeah.
and ran front for a little bit. That wasn't even close to that.
Wins Millville.
So what
He
about
could do it at Millville.
what about Fortner?
He's on my list too, but this one is more for personal, like where I always say I put these guys on. I sometimes my emotions are on my own sleeve.
Yeah.
Like he's just trying to finish and have a good finish the season and learn and build. But in my mind, I want him top 5. So my expectations were probably way too high. By the way, I just heard myself say I got called out for that because of talking about riders and how they speak. And somebody clipped our show and me saying a lot. So I'm going to work on that.
I like that.
That was an okay use of it. Now, if you had said I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I like that.
That's cool.
The whole no, that's the thing.
Oh, that's the one that kills me. I don't
think you do.
I hope I don't, but
you probably do.
Faulkner.
Yeah,
I'm so tired of kicking him while he's down kind of thing. I just use
Yep.
Have you heard his interviews?
If you're watching on YouTube, we're going to point at each other. If we say,
oh God, that's not going to derail it at all.
I wish we had a Mark that could do a counter.
Have you
sometimes.
Have you listened to his interviews? I know I did that on purpose. Have you listened to his interview? He is so positive. Austin, which is
cool.
honestly a good thing, because that means that he sees light at the end of the tunnel, and he's not
See, it's the everybody uses it.
I know.
No,
I
like that. I think that he's good.
Maybe it'll make us better.
I'm just going to go ahead and give him a whole pass for this year. I'm tired of us. I'm tired of us just has it gotten better yet? Did I do it? Did I say it?
I'm over pointing, so just go. We're not calling it out anymore. We're done.
I'm tired of us just keep bringing it up, and I'm just going to give him a pass for this year, and then next year, if he tries again and it's not better, then at that point, all right, go ahead. Let's go. But just for this whole year, he's still there. Hasn't really gotten hurt. It hasn't been great. It's just leave it alone. Just let him.
His positivity.
Just let him do his thing. Quit kicking him while he's down. Just let him do his thing. Give him next year.
His positivity has got me. Okay, I'm side eyeing it a little bit, and because it's one of those things where you're looking at it going, okay, it doesn't look that good, but you are happy with it, so maybe it fuels the fire.
Yeah.
And he also said he needs to start getting starts so he can start running that pace. So I think there's light at the end of the tunnel.
I do too. It's just, again, it's my
We're big
personal
fans.
want where I want him to be top 5. I want him to start winning, and he's a long way from that. And I'm kind of dang, man, come on. Okay. One more topic before I'll work on getting Coty on the phone, but Lachlan Turner will be on the show tonight. WMX has been racing on Fridays during amateur day, if they have one, et cetera, et cetera. Due to weather, they raced on Pro Day. They showed it on Peacock. That's cool to me. The negative is they only got one moto. But how do you guys feel about the WMX getting some recognition? Because I believe they deserve it. I also know there's a lot of keyboard warriors like, oh, it's boring or they suck. But there was some good racing. There's some really fast
I heard
women.
nothing but positive about the race.
What's that?
I heard nothing but
Okay,
positive.
I haven't heard anything negative. I just assume.
There's
So
probably something.
what do you guys think about it? And I'll work on getting Cody on while you guys talk about it.
My take was that if we are going to do it, like if we're going to have to bring the WMX back, just go ahead and put it on the Saturday. Figure it out. Like put it somewhere in the program.
Well, it can't be in the middle of the.
No, that's fine. Do it after. Do it before. Do it after the Conci race or whatever. It doesn't even have to be like you can do highlights on TV. That's fine. But what's the point of having it on Friday? Like nobody's there to see it. Like the fans aren't there.
Do they?
Like what's the point of even?
They are when there's amateur day. But the reason they don't do it off their consolation and is because of the whatever prep they do or whatever flaggers getting a quick break. There is no time.
I don't know. I just think if you're going to do it,
I don't know, but I'm telling you,
they could figure it. They figured it out today.
But they put it at the end.
Okay, put it at the end.
One moto when it was the worst, but they didn't have time for two.
All right, dude, let's do that. I'd rather them do that than do it on.
Ask Lachlan because I know most of the girls in the press conference said, "Yeah, they like that, but they want two motos. They don't want to just race one moto. They're already not getting enough."
Yeah,
So, but
I think it being televised is a huge positive, and however they need to do that, I just seems like how long are those races? You have a practice like practice 1, and then the women race. And then practice 2, the women race. It takes them 20 minutes, 30 minutes total. Let the guys rest. But anyways, yeah.
Well, we'll talk more about WMX in a minute. Our first guest of the night is on the line, and he's going to be brought to you tonight by Racetech, which is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company. And they have over 40 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. Racetech Gold Valves provide a plush feel with drastically improved bottoming resistance and increased traction. All Racetech products are 100% guaranteed and made in the USA. Hit up racetech.com, find your local service center, get your suspension in there, get it serviced, and you'll probably find your local tech at your local track. So get to know them. Tonight, Racetech brings us from the Muck-Off FXR Club MX Race Yamaha team, our buddy Coty Schock. What's up, Cody?
Not much, man. How are you?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Doing better now that we're getting to talk to you. Now I don't have to talk to these other two idiots in studio.
Oh, come on now.
No, it's okay. He's right.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you, man. I feel like you're riding really, really well this season. That maybe better than some of your results have shown. How do you feel? Because this is the first year on a 450 full time in a long time. I think 21 was the last time you raced outdoors on a 450.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I can definitely tell you I'm happy being on the 450. I just feel like my riding style suits it better. But yeah, my riding's been honestly really good. It just, results don't really show it, and that's okay. I just feel like every year I learn more, and it's kind of I just keep building, and yeah, I've been in some pretty cool battles. We're three rounds in so far, and I've battled some pretty badass dudes, and it's kind of hard because I'm trying to, it's cool racing against them, but at the same time, like I have to remember that, or remind myself that at the end of the day, they have a blank jersey, and I'm battling for positions, and I can't just hand it over just because of your credentials. Like we're all fighting for, that top spot. So, for me, it's kind of just been a little bit of a mental game, and just be like, I am one of these guys. Yes, I don't have championships, but I'm in this position battling with them for a reason. So I'm doing something right. So just keep going.
So, all right, I've got to ask you then, there's been a moment or a rider where you're kind of not necessarily letting them go by or moving over for, but that you said that for a reason. So give me an example. Like what's a rider that you were kind of like, oh, should I be battling with this guy? And then you have to decide, yes, I should be.
I mean, you kind of name it. I mean, I've been in battles with Malcolm Stewart and Hampshire, Prado, Webb, Anderson, Plessinger, Tomac, all the guys. Like, it's not just like I'm holding them up. We're all fighting for that position. And there's been times, was showcased this past weekend. Like in the opening lap, Webb went to go by me, and I was able to shut it down and inch away a little bit. And even in the first moto, it was Webb, Prado, and I all battling for like 6th, 7th, and 8th position. I mean, these guys are no joke, and they're talented, and they're so smart. Like that's another thing is I'm trying to learn their tactics, because there was a few laps where I was catching Webb and I was like, dang, I'm doing something. And then like Webb would like turn it on, and he was taking a few laps to himself to gather himself and read the track, and then he turned it on. So these are things I'm starting to have to, learn and be more methodical on my racecraft. That's obviously, we all know that's where Webb is really good at. So there's a lot of things I'm learning racing with these guys. And it's honestly, it is so cool. Like obviously in the moment I have to be present and I have to be like, gotta go. But as I, can sit back and think about it, like I'm in a really unique position, and at the end of the day, it's all going to make me a better rider.
Yeah, it's really interesting to think about if at a broad stroke, I think of guys like at your level, like, well, you guys know most everything, right? You know how to race, you understand racecraft. I mean, look, I mentioned 21 last time you were on a 450. You had 4 top 10s to close that season out. Like, clearly you have the ability to ride a 450. But then this year you're actually learning things while riding with these guys at that level. That's just kind of interesting to me that you're still picking things up and still learning that significantly from these top riders.
Yeah. One of my friends from the Northeast, Anthony Roth, he's a Jersey guy. He DMs me on Instagram. He's like, dude, back in 2016, your pro debut, Webb was 9 seconds a lot faster than you. He was like, now it's taken 20 minutes to like get a second on you. So I was like, you know what? That's kind of cool. That's like a really cool perspective, like how much I've grown over the years. And yeah, I mean, dude, it's wild. I mean, I'm down there on the line, just looking at all these guys. I'm like, wow, championship. It just keeps going. And it's not just like one, it's multi. And for me to have that moment this past weekend of a straight up whole shot and leading almost 2 laps, like I was so close to getting 2 laps. It was surreal, because it goes to show that it is possible. Everything kind of just has to fall in line, but I've done it once and it wasn't a fluke. So just got to keep fighting and keep learning. But yeah, no, this outdoor season's been a blast. Yes, results aren't necessarily where I want it to be. I haven't finished inside top 10 yet, but key word is yet. Mm-hmm. I will get there.
Yeah, I think also that taking those wins, not necessarily the positions or the results, but those wins like leading a lap, like battling with a Webb, that's what you got to do, right? That's what, just take those wins and then the results will come.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's, there's days where I'm practicing and I'm like, I want to get hard on myself, but then I got to put into perspective on the guys I'm racing against. And it's like, dude, you're doing what you're supposed to. Like, it's okay to get 11th, even though I don't want 11th, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Because everyone in front of you and even a few riders behind are factory riders. So, I mean, myself and Club MX, like, we're all doing the right thing. It's hard. That premier class is just next level. It's not about who has the most raw speed. Every little thing matters. And
yep.
I it's funny. I've always grown up and I've seen these riders be so picky and have certain do certain things, eat certain ways, just because they're trying to find that little inch. And I'm just like, well, I don't do any of that, and I still beat you. where now I'm like, okay, I kind of understand, because there's different tiers, and for me to try to get into that next tier, which is, the elite of our sport, like every little thing matters. So just trying to learn more about myself and fine tune, and just that next step is so hard.
Yeah, I dig that. Scotty?
Yeah, Cody, when you do get that position where you get a good start like that, and obviously it takes repetition to get better and better in that situation. Weege says it all the time. Things are happening fast for this guy or that guy when they get into the lead, and then eventually start to kind of fall back a little bit. When you do finally settle into your pace, do you feel that your pace that you finally work into is good enough to stay up there maybe longer than you did? And how do you kind of work on that?
Absolutely. The only reason why I didn't stay up there is because I made an error and I cross-shredded and went down. But yeah, my pace is definitely there for sure. Just got to be better at that, closer to the 30-minute mark plus the 2 laps. Like, we're all feeling it. It's just depending on, that's another strategy is riders will show a little bit of weakness and you're like, oh, I got them. And then all of a sudden they turn on the afterburners and you can't get them the last 2 laps. You're like, what the heck? I thought I had it. So part of it's a mental game, but yeah, my pace is definitely there. I just got to be a little better midway and towards the end. And I'm a sprinter, so I definitely have opening laps, and I'm just trying to keep my sprint speed for a longer duration. And I'm going to try to play my strengths, but I mean, it's hard. Mm-hmm. That class, everyone is strong in different areas, and yeah, at the end of the day, it's who's feeling it, and yeah, let the best man win.
So, and we're on the subject of just how much you've improved over the last few years. Is there any one thing at the one moment where it either clicked or something in you where you're like, if this wouldn't have happened, I don't think I could have continued the improvement that you have?
I would say I'm more so, like, I thought I was all in years prior, but I would say I'm probably more all in now. I am trying to go to sleep at night, not being able to question a single thing on if I'm doing absolutely everything possible to make this happen. Because as a lot of people know, yes, our careers are getting longer in a way. You see guys racing, I mean, up to they're like 35, 36, whatever. But right now for me, I'm 27. I'm not the youngest. I'm not the oldest, but I've gotten this far, and I'm still learning more about myself each and every day. And yeah, I don't know, just want to be able to go to bed saying that I did my absolute best, and I didn't do any shortcuts. I did everything right, and what's meant to be will be.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, you've had some up and downs. I mean, in 01, you were getting top 10.
01. I mean, Cody, how long you been at this?
Sorry, 2021. Sorry.
Yeah.
You were getting top 10s and stuff like that. Then you kind of went, just up and down.
He had a knee injury in 22.
That's what I was going to say. Is it just injuries? Was it like what caused the dip and then the resurgence?
250.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 250, honestly.
Gotcha.
But I think, there's a lot of things. With one team closing and then me going to another team, moving across the country, I had a lot of change in my life, and I always had somebody guiding me. Like in 21, I had Tony pretty much telling me what to do. I didn't make any decision on my own. And when I had to move across the country to a new team, I really had to grow up. I thought I was an adult, but I really didn't make any decisions on my own. And like it's I mean, I'm not even talking about like, buying food or anything. I'm talking about decisions on the bike, on what I want as a rider, what's important, gym program, like my mindset, everything. Like I was always searching for somebody to tell me what to do, but it just, at the end of the day, like I need to do it on my own. And I went through a few years where I really had to figure myself out, and I can say I've done it on my own in a way. Yeah. But obviously with the help of my fiance, who's been a huge key to my success, I guess you would say. I mean, obviously we're still learning together, but she helps me keep my head on straight, and I mean, we're a team. So it's crazy. I mean, I can actually say I think I know what's right for me, and this year I've made little decisions on like if I'm feeling up to ride or not, and I'm trying to listen to my body more, because I destroyed my body, causing me to get Epstein-Barr a few years ago, and I don't ever want to feel like that again. So just trying to take more accountability for myself and be honest with myself, say, yes, I feel good, or no, I don't feel great. So maybe I should focus on recovery. But I think at the end of the day, for me, it's just believing in myself and listening to my body. Yeah. And I feel like that's changed everything for me.
Do you think that the top guys, Tomax and the upper echelon, where they have everybody telling them do you think that actually makes it a little bit easier on them when they have, their days planned out by people, like kind of like what you were dealing with Tony?
I wouldn't say it makes it easier, but I feel like you kind of just become not like a robot, but you're just like, okay, yep, I'll do it.
Gotcha.
Where in the past I was having to think like, okay, what should I do? What's my purpose for the day? Where now it's kind of like, I already know my purpose. It's, hey, I got this to do, this to do, this to do. And I have my own checklist. And I don't know. That's actually a really good question. I can't really answer that, but I feel like those other top guys, they wake up with a purpose every day, and they have an enormous support group around them to be the best versions of themselves. So
absolutely.
It's amazing on how much is involved with this sport. It's not just racing a dirt bike, but I mean, everything involved.
Yeah. I mean, you're 100% right. It's at home, it's travel, it's everything. Coty Schock tonight brought to you by Race Tech. Before we move on,
real quick, I was looking at all the results from this past weekend, and 10 out of the 14 people that beat you in overalls, you did better in the first moto, all have a title. So
yeah,
it's when you think about it that way, Coty, like it's pretty damn impressive, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Before we move on, I want to get into Club MX and stuff, but I want to jump back into Supercross and that first career, that podium. Has that sunk in? Does that still? I mean, you probably still feel that excitement that that you got that night, and like what that was like, and seeing Emily down there on the podium with you, and experiencing that together. That was pretty rad.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did sink in. I actually have that photo. Like I have like 2 or 3 photos on our refrigerator, so I see it every single day. And it wasn't a fluke. Like I worked, I can't really say I worked my whole life for it, because I didn't even know what I could do.
Yeah.
But within recent years, that's why I've worked so hard, because I knew that I could do it. And for me to accomplish that, it's like, wow. So yes, it's definitely sunk in. Definitely goes to show that we're doing everything correct at club to get me to that moment, and there's definitely more to come. It was so cool. Like you don't randomly win 2 heat races and get a second in a Triple Crown, which honestly I don't know what's harder, a main event or a Triple Crown. Like Triple Crown's got a overall, but you got to be solid for those 3 main events.
Yes, 3 starts and 3 races that you have to be consistently up there with. I
Yeah.
mean, for the most part.
And for what I did in Arlington, my worst start I think was maybe 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but that was a very special night for me.
Yeah.
And it's definitely it's clicked.
I would assume it's affirmation, as you said, that you're in the right place, you're doing things right, but it's also a little bit of not I told you so, but to the naysayers that were like, why would club sign him to a 3-year deal? It's like, hey, like, yeah, look at this. We got a podium, we got 8 top 10s, 2 top 5s, and like we have something here. Yeah,
and they saw something in me before I even saw it in myself. Which says a lot about club. They're not what I love and respect about club is they're not there with you on your highs, but they're also there with you on your lows. They care for you as a person. Yes, they want you to do well, but at the end of the day, they just want you to do the best to your ability and to never give up.
For sure.
I will say club definitely sees, not just results. They see more of past a rider. They see him as a human first. And, you can really make anyone good. You just got to give them all the ingredients to success. And I feel like club's very patient. And, I mean, you can see it steady brewing. I mean, yes, Jet got hurt this year, but he climbed himself from not being able to make it past a press day, right? He got a top 10 in Arizona.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't always happen.
Well, and look, they stuck with Max through this issue and they worked with him on the handbrake.
Yeah. And then he podiumed.
Yes.
And then he podiumed straight up.
Yep.
Like the dude's a beast. And, I mean, the list goes on. I mean, even the guys that are still coming up through the ranks, like they stick by him. And yeah, it's awesome to see. I mean, yeah, they really took a shot at Max, and Max really, turned it around, and it's a perfect match for him because Max doesn't give up. He tries to make anything work, and club doesn't take no for an answer. So, kudos to those guys.
Well, let's stick with club in the facility for a minute. I've been there 2 years ago. I came out to just to ride after Charlotte SMX, and then this year I came out for the Blue Crew event they had there, which the Camp Blue Crew, which you weren't there that weekend. But that place, honestly, as a facility, the tracks, the different dirt, just really second to none. I haven't been to any other facilities, so I'm kind of talking on my butt when I say that, but I can't imagine there's another facility that offers what club does. And then when you look at the riders that have come through sometimes, like Jason Anderson or Prado, Lachlan Turner's there right now. She'll be on the show in a little bit. Chad Reed's there. That place is amazing.
It's club is the definition of all in. Like you show up to the Club MX property and there's houses.
Yeah.
There's motorhomes. There's numerous tracks. There's a pond for the kids to go play in. Like there's a gym there that is awesome, but we have a new one being built. It's second to none.
Yeah.
It's wild. The easiest way for me to explain it to people, imagine playing a dirt bike video game and you just being able to go wherever you want. If you want to go hit big jumps, go to this track. If you just want to be pretty chill, go to this track. If you want to practice turns, go to here. If you want to go ride a supercross track, sure, here, do this one. You want to ride a little arena cross type style track, go to this one.
Yep.
Like there's anything and everything there. And we got options, which is nice. And what's crazy is it's not done. Like Brandon has visions for club, and
right.
The place is just growing. It's cool. It really is cool. And I just see it as, the 7-year-old me playing MX Unleashed back in the day on free ride and going to just ride around all these tracks.
That's amazing.
That's what it's like.
That's a great description. Coty, I've got a couple more before we let you go. There's some of those riders I mentioned, like a Jason Anderson or Prado or Chad or even Justin Brayton. I'm sure every day you're able to pick things up from those guys. So can you give me a couple of examples of things you've picked up from some of those elite riders?
I'll start with Anderson. Anderson, this is going to come off probably rude in a way, but Anderson's like the laziest rider. but when I say that is he is so smooth, but he rides so calm. And he doesn't really look like he's putting in effort, but he's just letting the bike do the work. And he's the definition of just letting the bike do its thing. And he's just kind of there. So I've definitely learned to just try to stay lower in the RPM and let the bike do the work. But Anderson's roll speed, good gosh. Yeah, nobody really has that. On Supercross especially, that dude's good. He's so good.
Just so much natural talent.
Yeah, and then with Prado, you can barely hear him ride around the track. Obviously, I've only got to be there with them for like 2 or 3 days when he was there. But typical Euro, just lugging that engine, ripping, being so smooth. It's cool. It's cool. And what I thought was really neat is when Anderson rides, he kind of just likes it to be a smaller group. And then when Prado was riding, it's a little bit of a bigger group. So it definitely goes to show how each rider is different.
Yeah.
I think for me, I don't know what I would want. I think I would want like an in-between group.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Anderson's definitely more chill. I think Prado's still searching, so that's why there's more people there. And then with Chad being there, the dude is he's just so knowledgeable. You ask him any question and he can explain it, but then he can also relate it to back when he was racing and give you the reasons why he like gives you a certain answer. And the dude's just super knowledgeable. It's really cool. And it's also really cool to see how Chad and his wife are so involved with the kids training at ProX. People think that Chad's there training kids, and like Chad will give his input, right? If you want it, but at the end of the day, he's there for Tate and his daughter and Kai, and it's just so cool. It's just full blown family man, just wanting to be around the sport and give his kids all the tools to be successful and in their own way. Don't have to go out there and be a champion, but just go out and go win for yourself. I think that's the most important thing at the end of the day. And then with JB just randomly shows up with his son Beckham and just go ride the Supercross track on his pit bike. And it's I don't know, the dude's just super good human, but he got me in the mountain biking, so I'm grateful for that.
Sweet.
Trying to find time to go during the week because it's between travel and resting and training. Like it is kind of hard.
Yeah.
So still trying to figure that out, but yeah, JB, really grateful for that dude. Just
nice.
super genuine human, and I got nothing but great things to say to him. But I will say he's the reason why I got so much better in my whoops this season. All he did was spend 1 day with me. So I'm like, damn. Yeah. I wonder if I had 2 days.
Yeah, I've heard some of that from Weeds talking on the Pulp Show and with Steve. So I knew that was going on. All right, 2 more quick questions.
I have a real quick question.
Okay.
Since you mentioned Weeds, we've heard it's kind of a complete shit show whenever he's riding. Have you been there when he's riding, and is it as bad as what we've heard?
I've seen Weege in gear, but I've never seen him on a track, so I can't.
I think he just forgets stuff. And
but
okay.
Weege honestly just might unload and be in gear and come over to the shop and talk. I don't know if he rides. I'll be honest.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if he's actually out there riding.
Yeah, you're probably right. We had a listener email us, or Shane Bagley wants to know. This is a kind of a silly question, a little bit, but maybe not in the end. The new track markers, the UFO track markers, are white as opposed to the yellow Acerbis. Are they more difficult to see? Do they blend in more? Are they? Is there an issue at all?
No, if anything, I feel like it's better.
Okay. All right. That was easy. Last question. I saw that Keefer was at club today. Were you out there today?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he's going to do a video, and I know he's riding Max's bike, but how was it having Chris out there? That's one of my favorite humans.
Me too. I literally showed up to the property, and I look up, pulling into the shop, and I'm like, what are you doing here? And I roll down the window, and I just start clapping. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Aden was ripping, and Chris was just out there doing his thing. And I didn't see Chris test Max's bike, but I can tell you that they were definitely enjoying our front track. We got a lot of rain last night, today's track was pretty rutted and super technical, and it was awesome. It was just cool to just be out there doing. I did a 30 and like a 25-minute moto, and it's just cool to see Chris and Aden on the side of the track cheering me on, like, just as friends. And it's just cool to see familiar faces completely on the other side of the country.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Aiden's on in 15 minutes, so he'll be on here in a few minutes. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And it's just really cool, and it was really nice being able to say, see you tomorrow. Like, you don't ever really get to do that, because anytime I see Chris or Aden, it's always at the race, and it's always like just for that day. Where today I was able to say, see you tomorrow. That was cool.
Okay, I just got a text. Chris is riding Max's bike tomorrow. So, okay. All right, I'm going to close this out with on the front track. I was told when I was there, and the track obviously was not anywhere near as rough as it is when you guys are on it, but that you're quadding into the rollers.
Yeah, I was. They took that out.
Oh, okay. I tripled in. Yeah. Was that impressive for me?
Because of you?
Yeah, I was told you were quadding, so I was like, well, then I should be able to triple in, and I did, and I was pretty on a 250F, by the way, stock. But I was pretty happy.
That's not, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I'll give you credit.
I don't think it was that good. It didn't sound that impressive.
He was like, good job, Darkside.
No, because the triple definitely was a little bit of work. I mean, because there was an option. You can go to the left side and just go double all the way through, or right side and go triple.
Yep.
So I think you did good.
Thank you.
Did you go triple?
I don't remember, honestly.
No.
They were pretty worn down when we were there. So
yeah.
I think he was so excited about the first triple, he blacked out.
Honestly, I was so excited about getting over the anthill, because the 2 years before or whatever, I didn't make it, and then the step up after that made my day, getting over those.
That anthill is massive.
Yeah. So that, and then I don't know if they've changed layout, but there was like a little double before the anthill coming out of that right-hander. It was like a single and then like a little hump.
Yeah.
And I saw Brandon jumping it the day I got there, and I was landing on the face of it. I wasn't getting all the way over, and I think if I had committed, I could have, but I was a little scared. But I was really happy leaving there that day.
Yeah. Well, if you were to jump the anthill now, I would say attaboy.
Okay.
The thing, it's just to do the step up part is pretty big. But now it's kind of like a triple.
Ooh. Like
you can hit it as a triple. The thing is a booter.
Yep.
Just ask Aden about it.
I will.
He'll tell you.
Yeah, I'll talk to him. Like I said, he'll be on in about 10 minutes now. So, well, Coty. Go ahead.
And go on Chris Keefer's Instagram. The faces, the ruts in the face of the jump, that's the face of the step up. So, like, the photo doesn't do justice on how steep the face is and how actually chewed up it is.
I think Club posted that today too. I think that was like, pick a line. What line would you choose? I think that was on Club's Instagram too. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to pick. If there's like A, B, C, D, I'm trying to pick E. I'm just gonna go off the track.
Yeah, I'm gonna go around. Yeah. Coty, thanks for jumping on here, man. We really appreciate it. Always a great guest, and look forward to seeing you break into that top 10 at High Point.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys for your time. And see everyone at the races soon.
All right, sounds good. See you, buddy.
All right.
All right. That's Coty Schock tonight, brought to you by Race Tech. Fun. That was a good interview.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Okay. You want to do the X brand read? For the form check-in? Yep, you're going to read it, so have at it.
I didn't have it pulled up, but
I'm sorry. I told you after the first guest.
Yeah, I was not ready. X-Brand is your choice for a clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X-Brand is used by many top GNCC riders, including the 23 XC1 champion Craig DeLong, the 23 National Hare and Hound XC1 champion Dalton Sherry, and the 23 AMA National Enduro champion Grant Baylor. Lyndon Sawgrass, and as well as motocross, supercross, and arena cross riders like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, Jerry Robbins, and more. Visit EKS Brand or go to your local dealer. And don't forget that Hunter Lawrence may be in some Alpine Star goggles that look so familiar.
Very similar, very similar.
He can barely read. Why are you letting him do
that
this?
That wasn't bad. He said, let me do it. So I did. No, he can barely spell. He reads fine. It's honestly, a part of that's on me because I've never edited, like it's not written right. There's a few words that don't belong and I've never fixed it. So
did I read them like it was said?
No, you skipped actually. You did fine.
Good. How about say I didn't know if I was like Anchorman where I just read whatever's on.
Whatever's on there.
My name's Ron Burgundy.
Scroll up. Yeah. Okay. Tonight's X brand form check-in, and we've got Aden in 10 minutes, is titled Your Local Track Prep. I need to actually text Aden. It's posted by Smokin' Joe 439. Here's the post. I know I'm not the only one of my friends all hate it as well. Road practice yesterday at this track and a couple others do this now. When did it become the thing to rip the track deep? Then overwater it, which causes majority of the track to become just one giant rut. It really limits line choice, where it's basically blown out after one practice round. Makes the track more unsafe, and with it goes on. I'm not saying the tracks don't develop ruts.
Well, I got an answer for this.
Can I finish reading?
Yeah.
No.
And then a few. There's a lot of other people that agree. There's some other opinions, but let's talk about local track prep. You guys do that. I'm going to text
It's
Aden.
the absolute fault of the riders because everybody goes to the same line over and over and over again. I notice it because I have built, I've maintained, and worked tracks. And, I mean, if you just go to the point, like when I was running Willow Branch, I would go out there and put hay bales in the main ruts to push people out of them. And they would get mad at me. And then by the end of the day, they would be like, well, the track is so good. But they would get mad at me in the morning because I would put hay bales in the middle of the inside ruts or start with the hay bales on the inside. It's the rider's fault. Sorry, whoever wrote that.
Yeah, we suck.
Yeah,
we know this.
It's not about suck. It's like, you know that if you ride the same line over and over again, that it's going to be a crappy rut.
Yeah, but if the middle is so washed out that you're
just ride it.
No, sometimes it's terrible.
But
here we go. Here's the problem.
It's not that terrible. They're not they're watering it to keep it. You're going to have 3 or 4 practices when you go out there that are going to be it's a little muddy. But by the end of the day, if everybody
that's fine. A little deep in the beginning is fine, where I can still go somewhere. I will try to make some new lines. But when it hasn't rained for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you go out to the track, and the first practice session that you do, you come back and your bike looks like you just did a mudder, and you're literally like having to take the mud out of your radiator vents so that your bike doesn't overheat, and it hasn't rained for 2 weeks.
When has that ever happened?
That happened last year. I'm not going to blow out the track's name, but that happened last year. We went to a track that
happened once last year.
No, it's happened a few times.
I just got a text from Mike Bonacci, Club MX, and he said, we rip the insides for the good riders and pack the outsides for the
there you go. Good job,
on
Mike.
practice days.
That's a good idea.
So, yeah, gives you a couple options.
But like I said, it's the rider's fault.
A little bit, but like, well, let's take our local track Swan, right?
I like what he said, Bonacci said.
Their prep a little bit over the last few years, and a lot of the people that used to go to Swan, and it was kind of a highway, hate it now. But I've gotten to, because I've gotten a little bit better in the last couple of years. I like it a little bit rough and a little bit more ruddy.
I do too, but
then the other guys in our age group are like, well, this sucks. It's not fun. I don't want to ride here. So there is, I don't know how you find the balance.
I like what
Mike's idea is really good.
I like what they're doing. It could be dialed back a hair.
Okay.
It's a little too much. I don't like it being a highway either,
You don't have
but
to
it's
yell.
it's a little it's a little much.
I don't know why you're so mad at
So
the people at
aggressive.
Swan. They're great.
I'm not.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't
I'm
even
sorry
trying to use the name.
Moes for
I wasn't
Scotty
even-
hating you.
Yeah.
Wasn't even trying to use the name.
I know.
You're the one that blew him out.
Well,
I
we
think
just
they do
want-
a great job. I
we
love
wanna
it.
let people
I
know
like
how-
it too.
who you
It's
use.
just
sound
a
like
little. It's just a little too much.
But there are other people that are saying maybe it's not enough, right? And there's
Any
then there's
more
other
than that, it's
people-
a swamp.
But then there's other people are saying it's way too much. Okay, that bottom section where like the little creek is always way too wet. But everything else I'm okay with. But
So when I
point,
go
like,
out,
how do you find that happy medium? Other than like Bonacci's idea is good.
so when I used to go out like training all the time, I would try never to ride the same line twice, like during my practice motos. Like constantly, always trying to find another line, so another way.
That is hard to do sometimes. Like for me, it is. I find a line I like or I'm comfortable,
Well,
and
then
especially once that
That's
line
why you're not a
gets
good racer, and I am.
I don't mind deep ruts in the corners and like a different lines, and you have to kind of find your way. But like on straightaways, when it's just like 8 ruts, and I'm like trying to be like carry momentum and be like wide open, a section that should be wide open, and I'm sliding in and out of ruts. That's where it's like, what are we doing here?
Okay, so I understand where you're coming from because I am there a little bit too, but I'm only there because I'm not talented enough to hit those sections fast enough. But I would like to be. So having a little bit of that helps you. Get
I don't
better.
have the time in the.
That's the difference, right? In like we'll say skill levels, which
I just want to go out. It takes a lot for cost, and it's a lot of
Yeah.
my weekly, monthly, whatever budget to go out there and do that. I don't want to go out there and spend that's my weekend entertainment,
Right.
And I don't want it to be just a sufferfest where I'm just in ruts the whole time.
I don't think a practice track on an open practice day should be so drastic that the vets like screw it, I'm going home, and the 50s can't get through it. I agree.
Have a day with like if it's a AMA sanctioned event, if it's a qualifier, do it. If it's a local just normal practice or a real amateur race weekend, don't do it.
Underground's gonna suck this weekend.
I like what he said there. Like that may be the best answer I've ever heard. Like to the point to where any track owner that I talk to, I'm going to tell them, hey, you ever thought about doing this? Because this is what club is doing.
And Club MX is the best.
Inside and pack the outside.
Like pack the outside and let the guys who
And
are slower
then
just
at
rail
the end of the
outside.
day, I'll go take the inside once it gets worked in. But I don't want to do it at the first thing in the
I
morning.
like it.
All right, our next guest of the night's on the line tonight. He's going to be brought to you by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. Don't forget they have complete seats for the Talare and the Super 73, and covers for the Sur-Ron Segway, and they strive to ship orders within 36 business hours. This next rider is a Team Green rider. He's part of Keefer Inc., and he has sat on many, many Guts Racing seats. Aden Keefer, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, boys? How are y'all doing tonight?
We're crushing it, man. Just kicking out another MotoXpod and stoked to talk to you for a little bit. We're going to get into Club MX here in a minute. We just got off with Coty Schock, and Mike Bonacci's been texting me about you. But we're going to get to that.
Boy.
We're going to get to that. But I want to start with, once again, you have qualified for Loretta Lynn's Amateur National coming off of a pretty significant injury. I'd like just take us through these last couple of years, man. I feel like 2024 and 25 were the years that you had planned to, like, this is when I got to take the next step to get to A class, make a presence. And unfortunately, injuries have kicked you down a little bit. So talk about the mental side of that and the physical side of getting back to where you were.
Yeah, man. So 2023, I feel like was kind of like my breakout year. Got a lot of podiums. Actually, won a couple championships locally. Podiumed at Loretta's, ran top 5 the entire week. And that was kind of like my stepping stone to realize that I'm kind of one of the guys now. And coming in 2024, I ended up getting hurt right after Freestone. I went to World Mini, and pretty sure I broke a little bone in my hand, so that's what started it. Got that all healed up and went back to Georgia. Been training with Mike Brown and all the guys over at Triumph that year. And pretty much, I mean, one day at the practice track. I was doing a moto, ended up swapping off a jump, breaking my collarbone. And it was like 2 weeks before my regional. So I was like, well, shoot, I got to figure something out. So we came home, ended up racing my regional with a broken collarbone, won my regional, let that heal up. Got to do the photo shoot for Cowie and their new bike, which I was very appreciative of for Holiday letting me do that. And all the guys over at Kawasaki for letting me be a part of that opportunity. I was very grateful for it. And then after that, went back to Triumph. First day of riding, had a tip over in a turn, popped my shoulder out. So that was kind of what ended my 24 season. Had surgery on that after Loretta's. Came back in December, was riding for a month. I was actually honestly surprisingly riding pretty good.
Yeah.
Did a little local race, won that. And then that next Tuesday out in the Des, got a random rain, got the itch to go ride, and then just dabbed my knee in the turn and ended up popping it. So it's been a mental struggle, man. I mean, there's been days where I thought for surely with my knee, I was like, well, I'm done, you know? I mean, I'm 19 years old and still trying to make it, you know? And even me and my dad talk about this all the time. The window in the sport is very small. So
right.
Obviously I was stressing. That's the first thing I thought of too. When I heard my knee pop, I was like, well, I'm done, man. Like 25 was supposed to be my year. And I mean, you never really hear of people coming back from ACL injuries 2 to 3 months afterwards. So, yeah, man, there was some dark days for sure. Crying with my parents and everything. I mean, it was dark, man. I mean, you saw it. I came home right after I had surgery from Nashville, and you were there. So yep. You got the little bit of a little taste of what depressed Aden was like. Other than that, man, came back from ACL surgery. I believe it was almost 2.5 months. Kind of the same thing with Jet. I worked really hard with Dr. Navarro, really nice guy down in Brea. Works on a bunch of the guys like Marchbanks and all of them. So he got me right. And then, yeah, man, here we are now, qualified for Loretta's, and just trucking away out here in South Carolina, just trying to get my fitness back to where it needs to be.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of time, obviously, and recovery. And I want to ask you a little bit about that surgery in a minute. But what is your 12-month plan and your career plan? I've heard your dad talk to you about this, right? You have a short, like you just said, a short window to make it, quote unquote, make it. You know, what are your goals and what is your fallback plan? Do you have one?
I mean, well, honestly, me and my dad talked about it. I kind of have a 2-year window. Mm-hmm. So I got the rest of this year, and then next year I'll be A class. And then, after that, man, if I don't have a ride after that, then we don't really know what exactly it is. I mean, I've thought about it a little bit. Me and my dad have talked about it, about maybe taking over the business or going and being a gear guy or something, athlete manager. You know, I'm really good friends with Kenny Day, and I've got to see what he does over the years, and I feel like that would suit me just because I'm a very outgoing person. I like to travel a lot. So that's kind of what I've thought about a little bit, but I mean, my focus right now is I got Mammoth coming up in 2 weeks. Hopefully go out there, maybe win a couple of championships up there. And then Loretta's, man, is like is kind of like my strong suit right now, where I'm holding on to. Hopefully go out there, win, and have something lined up after that, man. But
like it.
Yeah, so I kind of have a 2-year window so far.
Okay.
Do you think that if you go to Loretta's, have another, good Loretta where you are, and then you get to that point to where you don't have the ride you want, and financially you'd have to like do it on your own, so you decide not to, and you go to either like you said, a gear guy or a rider rep, do you think you could walk away from the racing and be happy with how it turned out as far as your move towards pro or anything like that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd be a little bummed, because I mean, every kid's dream growing up is to be a professional motocross racer and to be on a factory team and winning races, winning championships. So I'm pretty sure I'd be a little bit bummed, but at least I can look back on it and all the memories that I've had and created with my dad and my family and friends. I'm pretty sure I can look back on it and be okay with it.
Yeah, I think you look at your dad's career and, I mean, from racing pro level for a little bit and to what he does now, I mean, he's a pretty happy guy. He's been very successful. So if you can look at it like, okay, yep, maybe I don't go race, maybe I don't ever race professionally. Who knows? But I can still have a career in this industry, get to ride a lot, and really have an enjoyable life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, dirt bikes are still always going to be there. And if I have a stressful day at work or something, you can always rely on dirt bikes. That's what my dad's always taught me is I didn't really raise you to be a professional motocross racer. I used you to be use dirt bikes as a tool to get away from life.
Right. Scotty?
Yeah, and it does seem like in the B class, especially at Loretta's and that level, everybody has speed, and speed is great. You have to have it. And I think that you do. I think what can step somebody up in B class is having a superior racecraft. Is that something that you guys have been working on? I know you haven't been able to do a whole lot, and you're kind of just trying to make it with the injuries and everything. But how do you focus on that and work on that?
Let me add to that real quick before you answer, Aden, because there's also, it kind of goes a little bit of maturity with that, which I've heard Chris kind of lay into him a few times when Aden maybe gets a little of a bad start or makes a mistake or falls, then he kind of loses his mind a little bit, right? As kids his age do. Your dad's talked to you about that too. So go ahead and answer his question with that in mind.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, we were counting the days the other day, and I haven't really raced a big race in almost a year. So I just think just lack of racing, honestly, is not ideal. So right now, we're just trying to race as much as we can, and being at the practice track with Jalik and Styles and Mikkel and Jordan and Faulkner, and then even venturing out here to club, and getting to ride with these guys and feeling the pace and everything. So I'm pretty sure that helps a little bit. But same thing, man, you can't really mimic what an actual race is. And once you're deep into a moto and you got some dude up your ass, or you're in some dude's ass and you're getting just roosted and everything. So nothing really mimics it, man. But yeah, no, like Darkside said, I tend to black out a lot. Either I get frustrated, and I think you've all heard the story of I T-boned my dad on accident.
That just popped up on Gypsy. That just popped up on Gypsy's Instagram.
I saw it this afternoon. Yeah.
I'm looking at my parents right now, laughing right now because I think they're listening, so they understand it.
Yeah. I was there that day, so yeah.
Oh yeah, shoot, you were there that day.
Yeah, I rode off because it was a little volatile. And your girlfriend at the time was walking towards you, and I was like, cross track, like, "Hey, yeah, go the other way."
Yeah, give him a second.
Yeah, no, go the other way.
But anyway,
yeah, man. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, you go ahead and finish.
But yeah, no, like I said, I think I just got to race more. And that's what we plan on doing this summer.
You talk about like a job, maybe if racing doesn't work out. Now you did work a little bit. I don't know how much for Jamie at Twisted last year. So what was it like for a short time having a regular job? Did it make you kind of think, I need to race. I don't want to do this. I don't want a 9 to 5.
Yeah, no, it was an eye opener for sure. Right after I had shoulder surgery, my dad was like, "Look, man, you're not going to stay and sit on the couch all day and play video games and be a POS. You're going to get a job. You're going to go understand what it's like in the real world."
Yeah.
So, Jamie just told me, come on down and we'll get you right. So I went down there. I was working from Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock answering phones. So if anyone called Twisted Development and there's some stupid kid on the line, it was probably me.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but no, it was an eye opener for sure. I mean, waking up at 4 a.m, driving all the way down to Temecula, getting there at 7:45, starting work at 8 o'clock, and sitting at a desk all day for 10 hours was not.
It's not fun.
I thought it was hell, and I wasn't really even doing much either. That was the funny part. Is I was just sitting there answering phones, and I was only working 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, "Dude, you don't even understand it yet. You don't realize yet."
But realistically, like a 9 to 5 job where you're stuck in one place does suck. But if you're stuck just answering phones, that's pretty monotonous. That sucks even more. Like if you were in the back helping Jamie, on the dyno and doing stuff you'd probably be like, "Oh, this is cool." The time would go faster. So you had probably the worst job in the business in that day. So, I mean, I'll give you a little bit on that.
Yeah, no, it sucked. That's what I told Jamie. I'm like, man, I wish I was in with the mechanics helping them or
right.
in the shop or something. But I did get a couple interesting calls, which kind of made the day a little bit better. But, yeah, man, it sucked.
They make you clean the toilets?
No, actually, honestly, I would have rather done that than doing the damn phone.
So you mentioned the Kawasaki photo shoot. You also were in the Kawasaki video. That was pretty cool. Was that the same day? What was that like for you?
Yeah, no, it was the same day. So me and Drew Adams went up there to Washougal to shoot it.
Yeah.
And man, we had a blast. It was awesome. So like
Oh, yeah.
again, like I said, thank you to Ryan and all the people at Cowie for giving me that opportunity.
All right, tonight, Aden Keefer is brought to you by Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew. Okay, the future. Maybe you take over your dad's business one day. I don't see him stepping away anytime in the near future, but...
Jamie needs a job.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say, I'm going to hit up Kenny Day and try to take his job. Try to take Aiden's job. But
you should.
Testing-wise, riding-wise, what do you like out of your bike? Your dad is all about feel, and he's very, very in touch with the bike. What's the primary thing you need out of a bike that you need to feel?
Honestly, man, like my testing skills aren't the best. He's been trying to help me with that lately. But I think the main thing that I need out of a bike is a lot of hold up in it. Just because B riders, we ride so hard and we slam into turns and we're over jumping things. So I just think I need a lot of hold up out of my suspension.
So that over bottom end or top end or what the suspension is number one. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to say suspension is number one.
Okay. Got it?
Yeah, and you have a very unique situation where you have a guy that's, as your dad, that's made a career out of doing the testing and knows how to get the best out of a bike. But at the end of the day, he's still your dad, and we all go through that phase where it doesn't matter because that's what dad said. It's like, I know that you've, over the years, been pretty good about taking his advice and listening. As you're starting to get, a little bit older, has that been easier to kind of tell yourself to listen to him and not to just ignore him because he's dad?
Yeah, no, it's over the years it's gotten a lot better. I mean, there's still days where it's like he's my dad and we butt heads a lot, but no, I really try to mature and understand where he's coming from and listen to him because he may not have won championships or anything, but I mean, he's probably one of the best test riders in our industry right now. So I take it with a grain of salt and I listen to him most of the time, but there's still those days where we butt heads.
Yeah.
That's father-son stuff.
Speaking about the future stuff, and you don't know me really that well, but I would tell you.
Met you though.
Yeah, we've met.
Okay.
I'm just saying he doesn't know me that well,
Yeah.
but I was gonna tell you, you better get your pro license and do some supercross and do some outdoors because there's so many riders that I'm not gonna say you started late riding, but you kind of started late racing that excel so well. Like we had Coty Schock on it. He has made a great career out of racing, and there's been ups and downs, but don't cut yourself short.
I texted Aden. Cody was talking some trash on
Well, yeah,
Aden.
Cody does talk trash. He does talk trash on
Man,
you, but I'm just saying.
I'm lying. He was actually saying you were ripping, by the way.
But
I was not ripping.
But the point I was trying to make is, as somebody who's seen a kid come up from being like a slow rider to making it to pro with my son and stuff like that, I promise you, in the long run, it'll be worth at least getting your pro license and racing Supercross a couple times because you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. Like, not to really put too much pressure on yourself because, Cody is a great example. I mean, nobody knew who Cody was back in. Well, I think it was 2018 or 2019 that he came over, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at him now; he's podiuming Supercrosses and all that. So that's what a lot of people tell me. But I mean, at the same time, I don't want to be the guy that's 25 still trying to make it with dad's money and everything.
Neither
I don't
does your
be known
dad.
as that guy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
No, I think that you'll be good enough that you won't have to worry
On
about
his
that.
70,000. Isn't that what he said? 70,000 a year. Isn't that what he did?
70,000.
That's what Chris said.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, just a couple more things from you or for you. You mentioned being out there, Triumph, riding with Jalik and the boys. That first time getting there and spending some time there after finally getting out of California, how much did you love it? What was the best part of being there?
Oh man, I loved it. As soon as I got the first day that I got there, it was awesome. I think the main thing that I loved there was the camaraderie that we all had. We're all bantering with each other, but at the same time, we all help each other at the same time, which is cool. But aside from that, probably the dirt, man. The dirt is insane. It took me actually 2 days to get used to it just because of how sticky the dirt was compared to Glen Helen where you're rear steering your way around and hitting the square edges and everything.
Now can you understand why I'm so bad at Glen Helen?
Yeah, no. understandable. Like, but at the same time, I feel like you ride actually every time you come here. I don't think you ride Glen Helen bad. So that's the thing.
I mean,
Okay.
he gets beat by.
Do you listen to
Steve there.
Pulp, Aiden? Like,
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, Aiden. I don't think.
Well-
anyway, let's move on. It's about you. Keep
Yeah.
going. Yeah.
All right. But yeah, no. So like I said, probably the camaraderie was the best thing, and same thing. We've all grown a big relationship over the past year, especially me, Styles, and Jalik. We're like three. We're like the Three Stooges, you know.
I can see that.
we get in some trouble, but yeah, man, I love those guys. Those guys are like my big brothers, and I look up to them a lot.
All right, so let's move on to club. We just had Coty on, and Mike Bonacci's actually texting me a little bit right now. I want to know, they've been trying to get you. I know Mike's been trying to get your dad out there for a long time. So I believe this was your first trip there.
Yep.
In my eyes, I can't imagine a facility having more to offer than what club does. I want to get your thoughts on the facility first off, and just what you think of that place.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, man, like I was blown away when we first got there. I mean, you watch videos of club, and when you see it in person, it's a totally different perspective of when you see it over YouTube or anything. But yeah, so Brandon Haas took us around the facility today and showed us around, and the dude's done a fantastic job with the place. I mean, he's got a bunch of tracks. I think he said there was like 37 total kids that are there that are riding, which is a lot. So like, I mean, from my perspective, I told my dad on the way home, I'm like, man, it'd be so sick to spend like a month out here and ride and train, because they have a great program. But honestly, it was sick. Even the track, honestly, today was insane. I thought it was a little bit better than Triumph, just because this is what I told Bonacci and Brandon today. Like, we only have 5 of us guys out there just riding, and it only gets a couple lines, but it doesn't really get rough. Today, man, I thought I was riding a Pro National.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it gets nasty.
Totally different.
Because they're like, just talking with Coty, right? You've got all the club guys. At times, you've got Jason Anderson. Prado's been there. Lachlan Turner's there. I know, right? There's a plethora. JB shows up sometimes. Track, and then you haven't probably even experienced all the different types of dirt, right? You got the true sand track that's right behind the front track that you rode today. Then you've got the GP track. There's a clay track. There's the turn track on top of the little pad there. It's so many different dirts, and then you can go do little GNCC style riding if you want.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. They got a variety for different riders too. They got the like Blair today had a little group working the turn track, and then you had us guys right there riding the big track. And yeah, I told my dad this morning. Like I said, it rained last night, and we got there. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be muddy and it's not gonna be that fun. But I went out there and I was like, wow, it didn't even rain last night. Like, it wasn't even that bad. But no, man, they've done a great job with the place, and honestly, we need to come back out here and spend more time. I understand why Mike is so has been trying to get us out here for so long, and
yeah,
I'm very appreciative of it.
Yeah, he said you're moving to Group 1 tomorrow, so that's the big boys, I guess.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm good. I need to. My dad told me today, he's like, man, you need to go out there with Group 1. I was like, I'm not ready yet. Give me a little bit.
Tomorrow, buddy.
I'm jumping in.
Like on a day like today, like, or it's just a Tuesday, like how many bikes were like out on the, maybe not at the track at once, but just in total, how many bikes do you think were out there?
I don't even know. They have their little starting gate, which is, I think there's 7 or 8 gates on each side of the box, and those were full each practice plus more. So I'm pretty sure there's probably like 25 guys out there riding today total.
Oh wow.
25, maybe 30.
Yeah,
that's a lot. It's
gonna get rough, man. I'm looking forward to getting a full rundown from you once you leave there and get to ride. How long are you staying there? I know your dad's riding Max's bike tomorrow.
We were here today, and we're gonna be there tomorrow, and then go back.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I'll be interested to get your feedback after you ride tomorrow. I guess let's close this out. I did want to ask about your ACL surgery. You went to Tennessee. You have on your Instagram. You went and saw Dr. Bowman. Pretty rapid, quick recovery, kind of very similar, like we said, to Jet. Do you know much about what the process was and why the recovery is so quick?
I don't really know much. So like what he described it was, so he takes my patellar tendon and uses that as my ACL, and then takes a piece of my IT band and it wraps my IT band around my ACL to reinforce it. But I mean, I think the only thing that really stood out to me was just, right out of surgery, I walked out of the hospital. So I'm pretty sure it's just the he just wants you to start therapy really quick.
Yeah.
Like that night, I was walking around. He was telling me to bend it and move it. And like you saw me after I came home. I mean, I was getting off the crutches with only 4 days after surgery.
Yeah, you weren't really supposed to, as I recall.
Well, I mean, he said I can get off him if I felt like it, but Mama Bear was pissed. She was frazzled.
Yeah, she gets that way.
Yeah,
she's my favorite.
She probably had a couple little White Claws in her too, which didn't help. So, yeah.
All right, Aden, this has been a lot of fun. I think this is the best interview I've ever heard with you. Like, because you get all a little beside yourself with your dad sometimes. So this was good.
Well, I mean, I looked at it today. You didn't. This is the almost a year that you've had me on. You don't get me on enough.
Well, you've been injured, dude. Quit getting hurt.
So we can still bullshit.
All right. Well, get me some results at Loretta's, and we'll get you back.
He moved on to Hudson Short.
Yeah, Hudson. Yeah, Hudson's like my regular.
Hey, did you guys hear the story about how Hudson took out Darkside?
Oh yeah,
they were there.
Scotty
was there.
I was here.
TJ wasn't.
And we heard about it from Hudson every time he's on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, man.
Yeah.
Darkside.
Still have not
Hudson.
received my replacement patents, Hudson.
You're fine.
All right, so knock out a couple 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s tomorrow. Let me know how you like the track. Please tell your parents that I love them and love you, buddy.
I will, buddy. I love you too, and thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Be safe out there tomorrow.
All right, thanks, boys.
See ya.
Later.
Bye. That is Aden Keefer tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing.
What was the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
That is the practice training situation.
They do 5 laps.
You do 5 like sprint laps with a parade lap. Kiefer calls it, or a roll lap.
Yeah.
Then you do 4 fast, roll all the way down to 1.
I got you.
It usually ends up being like 30, 40 minutes. It can be.
Yeah. When I ran track, I ran the mile and 2 mile. It was my races that I ran.
Uh-huh.
But we didn't just during track practice, we didn't just go run a mile every day.
Yeah.
We would do 1,000 meter, an 8 meter, 600 meter, 400 meter, 200 meter. And sometimes do that twice.
Okay.
We had it's the same kind of thing.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah. That's how you train, and then it makes it.
I'm sure people who have been to training facilities, that's a normal thing.
I don't know. I don't know. Chris, when that same day at Mesquite is the day we did that. That's when it happened, actually, during the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Chris told me about it, and I was like, okay. He's like, we're going to do it in a little bit. And then I went out and I rode a 20, and I was coming off the track, and he's like, hey, we're going to do that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I was like, but I just came off the track. He's like, yeah, so what? Line up. And then we did that. And so that ended up being almost an hour on the bike.
Yeah.
Because I think it was like a 40-minute. And I the last sprint, I didn't sprint because I was worried about fuel.
Yeah.
But it was pretty gnarly.
That's cool.
But it was fun. It's a pretty cool thing. I do that here sometimes. Like I'll go to Steve's or Crowded, and I'll do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You try to keep your heart rate up and let it drop down.
Yeah.
That's good.
Have you just okay? Go ahead.
You're good.
I was gonna say, have y'all ever broke a chain like straight up, not like a clip come out?
No,
but like
I haven't snapped a chain.
I had one time. I don't know if this counts, but I had one time where the sprocket just broke from the hub.
Yeah. So I broke 2 chains this weekend back to back.
You're not oiling your chains?
No, they're relatively new chains, and they're not junk chains. I don't want to throw any companies
let's
out
not
there.
do that.
It's not the clip's not popping out.
No,
it's just breaking.
No. So
Snapping.
one of them, I was on my big bike, and I was out at Madden, so there's a lot of traction, and I came up a little short, and I wasn't really pushing hard, but I came up short on one of the 60-foot doubles, and I landed hard on the throttle, and I heard this clack, 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 and I pulled down thinking I had broke something on the motor, and the side plate, by one of the deals just split.
Oh, wow.
Broke one of the side plates. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm done with my big bike today. So I went and parked it. I got on my Talaria, and I was hitting the freestyle ramp with the Talaria and landed up on top one time because I was trying to practice scrubbing or throwing whips on it a little bit. So I was kind of sideways.
Tighten it too much, you think?
No, I know they're not. And then I landed, and then that one, it broke the pin. The actual pin snapped.
That'd be a shitty place
I
to break
think
a
I
chain.
know what it is.
Okay.
He's not buying the right chains. He's buying straight chains. He needs to buy homosexual chains because he's riding electric bikes.
Wow, I don't know why we're going there, but I was going to say you should be buying ProX chains.
Yeah.
Well, that's I wish ProX.
Quit buying gay chains, dude. You got to or straight chains. You got to buy the gay ones
for the electric bike.
for the electric bikes.
Yeah. Well, anyways.
Okay. Let's jump into the Evans Coolant
Sorry, I
emails.
couldn't
We'll go
help it.
back to that real quick since we kind of skipped over it.
We never went into it.
We haven't done the ProX Vital MX Fantasy results either, which we'll get to in a minute. But what you got?
Hey, Evans waterless coolant protects your engine because it's always
liquid cooled.
liquid. Steam
you
inside
got
the
him.
engine
I'm
creates
just playing
hot
the part of
spots
TJ.
Oh,
and
bullshit.
detonation. But with Evans, the metal is always
Liquid cooled.
used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta, USA, Ampro Factory, Yamaha, and many others. Regardless of sponsorship, Evans is in the bike on the
Podium.
You were reading it.
But I know the answer to that
Yeah,
one.
okay.
He was looking at it when he said that.
I
though.
know.
Okay, we're going to knock through a couple of these out real quick. Phil Smelter sent this email. This was kind of back for Supercross, but he said there was something missing from Supercross this year. Obviously, it's not Jet and Eli. It's Vince Freeze.
I know.
That guy's made us all so freaking mad, but when you think about it, he's also the guy that brought all the action. I hate to say this, but I want him to come back so I can love to hate him. I respect his ability. Thanks. It says thanks, Phil. So yeah, I just thought that was pretty funny. We did miss Freezy a little bit.
No, we didn't.
We didn't?
No.
I mean, he was in Arena Cross.
Arena
but
Cross.
In Supercross.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, and it was even better in Arena Cross because he was up front. Like, not that I wanted to win, but he was always in drama.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
I love it.
Cuckoo Freak sent lots of talk now about Joe moving on from Honda after the season, and rumors of him going back to Mitch's group.
Huh?
My question, do I need to start over or what?
No, I didn't know he was going back.
There's rumors that
Oh,
he
okay.
could go back to Pro Circuit. My question is, who would Honda pick to replace him? This is a highly coveted ride and should be able to draw the biggest names in the sport. Any ideas? I think Davies is locked to stay at Star. Would they look at a guy like Juju Bomer or maybe Kitchen? Or am I overlooking someone obvious?
If Joe wants to leave Honda and go back to PC, like that's what he wants, that's cool. If Joe's going back to PC because Honda's letting him go, I think that's a mistake on Honda's part.
Well, I don't know that Honda's letting him go.
But if he wants to go, that's fine. That's what he.
And I don't know that he is. Lars on pole like 2 weeks ago kind of made it sound like that's not happening.
I've been keeping up with this. Like this all could be just Joe's English not being that great.
Yes, because because he said,
I know that sounds mean, but that's
he said,
literally
I know
what's
where
happening.
I want to go.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
sounds like he wants to leave.
That's where all this is coming from.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that. Yeah.
And if Honda was to pick somebody, I would almost bet they would push towards an amateur. They've done it before with Hymus. You know what I mean? They'd pick somebody up out of amateurs. Why not? When you have somebody like Hymus who can win you races, why not groom somebody else?
Did I read this one last year from Eric Beam? Said I'm thinking with
I ain't gonna remember from last year.
last week. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Eli Tomac's performance last weekend. KTM trying for Ducati will be adding a few zeros. Did I read that last week?
It
came in last week.
Say it again.
What's too late? He's already signed.
I'm thinking with Eli Tomac's performance last weekend, which this was sent last
I
weekend.
think you did.
They're going to be adding some zeros.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
they're not.
I just
going
don't know
to
if I
'cause
said
he's
that
already
or
signed.
I
read it or
remember you
not.
saying that.
What's your
already,
thoughts?
I think he's already signed.
Yeah, I think
so
it's done, and his deal's done. I think. Anyway. Okay, let's see. We've got 8 minutes before we get Lachlan on. Let's do the ProX Vital MX Fantasy Points. I'm hoping you played, Scotty.
I did.
Good, because our co-host here did not.
We're 2 for 3 most weeks.
Yeah. Are you doing the ProX read, or am I doing it? What did I say? I don't remember. I told you.
I don't know, but I can do it. ProX is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Pro Yamaha, Pro Circuit, Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They have been supplying quality components for almost 50 years, from complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets. ProX aims to bring you to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. Find ProX at your local dealer or visit ProX.com or Pro-X.com and search parts for your bike.
I feel like that's pretty. You're doing a lot better than I am, considering you've never even really
Yeah, and
seen
you've
these
done it
before.
like 1,000
I read them
times.
every week, and I still screw them up. So, yeah, good job, TJ.
I think the reason why, like I said before, I did announcing for so
Yeah,
long,
yeah.
and you just have to read that stuff. So,
All right. So, as we've said, Vital MX has a fantasy game. It is free if you're not signed up for it. You go sign up. You get $1 million budget every week. And the
bad at
riders
it.
are assigned a dollar amount that they're worth, such as Jet Lawrence might be $220,000 for the weekend. So that comes out of your $1 million budget. You can pick as many riders as you can afford, and you get the points they get. There's no handicaps, et
play.
cetera, et cetera. So you got to decide: do I want to take 3 or 4 top level riders, or do I want to spread it out? The winner of the MotoXpod team or game
League.
Well, but I guess it's a fantasy game, the MotoXpod League. Yes, you are correct. The winner this weekend for Thunder Valley was Krusty _XX with 263 points. He had she had 9 riders to do that.
So if they got, just real quick, if they got 263 points, then the highest overall for the whole game was 268. So that's pretty good.
Why do you say that?
No, like
it was. I thought you were like guessing. I was like, how do you?
No,
guess? Okay.
it was
You're looking at it.
I'm looking at it. It was 268, and
they had a couple like 50s.
You
or
potentially
40s.
could have had 317 would have been the best if you were perfect.
Okay.
You know all I'm getting at is the person in our league who won
was not far off the highest score. I got you.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't far off Krusty. Krusty's 263 to my 190. That's like right there.
Hey, I beat
Dude, how
you.
are you so bad at this?
I got a couple zeros.
I feel like I had a bad one, and I'm still better than that.
What'd you get?
I got 194.
Yeah, you beat me by 2 points.
You beat me by 4 points, dude.
Yeah, but still, I thought I did really bad.
So, I did do really bad.
Yeah.
So you were right. You thought you did bad. You were right.
Yeah.
I mean, like Benoit Paturel got me 0 points. I mean, what are you gonna do?
If I had actually
how many
not
riders?
Forgotten sometimes, I'd be smoking you for the year.
How many riders?
How many did I
you have?
pick?
Yeah.
I took 8 this weekend.
How about you?
I did 6.
I did 5.
Well, yeah, he had auto picks.
I had auto picks.
Oh, it picked them for you. Nice.
192.
Good for you.
Every time I had auto pick in Supercross, it boned me, so I guess you did pretty good.
Let's do this. I got an email. We did this last year for the Jonathan Morin sent me an email last year. Let me pull it up.
I went. Oh, are we moving on for fantasy?
Yeah, well,
okay.
You can. If there's
I was going to say I was like, well, Hayden's going 1-1, so it's just worth the 200,000. And then he went 2-2 for the one time.
Yeah, see, that's why I generally don't go that route. I'm just not going to spend that much for those points. I'd rather spend a little bit less and hope to get close to the.
But I feel like with the way outdoors is going, like you kind of know who's going to.
Yeah.
It's almost
but
worth
it's also going to kind of take a big chunk of your budget.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair.
Okay. So this is from Jonathan Morin. Last year, he sent us a message about at one of his local tracks. They were doing the Fire Police Benefit Motocross Race. So the 27th annual Fire Police Benefit Motocross at Amherst Meadow. That's not right. Did I write that down? It's not Meadowlands. My handwriting is so freaking bad. Wow. Huh. Meadowlarks. That's what it is. Meadowlarks MX in Amherst, Ohio is this coming weekend, June 19th to the 21st.
Let's go.
Or is that the following weekend? What is the dates?
That's next. That's not this weekend, but the next.
Yeah, the following weekend, because this weekend's my Loretta's qualifier. But anyway, if you guys are anywhere in that area,
where is it?
Amherst, Ohio.
Oh yeah.
So you can check that out. It's the 19th, which is Friday, is an open practice. The 20th is fire and police EMS only, and then the 21st is open to everybody. So if you're in that area, go support fire, police, EMS.
Is there that many riders in that area? I wonder that'd
you would
be
have
cool.
to.
That'd be cool.
You would I could give you Jonathan's mess, and we could find out. I don't
that
know.
would be really neat to know.
But let me read this. So June 19th, 20th, and 21st, you will not want to miss the Fire and Police Benefit Motocross to raise money for Make-A-Wish and the burn unit at Akron Children's Hospital. This event has open practice on the 19th and racing on the 20th and 21st. We are raffling off a Gas Moto 1 electric bicycle, and there are plenty of other door prizes and raffles. This race takes place at Amherst Meadowlarks MC in Ohio, and all proceeds go to charity. For more information, see Fire Police Benefit MX on Facebook and Instagram. So if you're interested, you're in the area, Fire Police Benefit MX on Instagram. Give those guys some support. Go out, have some fun. Be cool event. Sounds like. Yes, no, maybe. Anybody?
Sounds fun. It sounds like fun. Like I said,
I'm going to work on getting Lachlan on.
Working though,
so bear with me. Well, maybe you should stop working.
Well, I mean, we can't all afford to do that.
No, I need to try to get that job that Aden was talking about. Honestly,
I mean, I don't know why you haven't sent your application in right now.
Yeah, I don't really think there is a job.
Motocrossindustryjobs.com.
Yeah, right. All right, our next guest of the night is on the line, and she's going to be brought to you tonight by Yamaha Motor USA, a reputation for dominance As she has proven, it doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades. The YZ story is over 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com. Tonight, Yamaha Motor USA brings us from the Altus Blue Crew Yamaha team, Miss Lachlan Turner. What's up, Lachlan?
Not much. How are you guys?
We are good. Now, I'm going to ask you, do you prefer to be called Lachlan or Lala?
Honestly, I prefer Lachlan.
Okay. All right. Well, then we're going to go with Lachlan. I'm glad I asked. First things first, congratulations on being the WMX champion. I'm so glad it's back last year and leading the points this year.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm glad it's back, too.
Yeah, I'm kind of old. We met at Loretta's. I don't know if you remember me or not, but I'm a little bit older. So I was at Freestone back in the days of, like Ashley and Jessica, and man, those girls rip. It's so cool to watch the women racing. So I am legitimately thankful that it's coming back and that Christina Denny's a part of it.
Yeah, me too. It's pretty sick. I actually don't know that much girls that used to ride it. So yeah, it's new to me too. Well,
that's cool. Yeah, again, it's back in, you grew up obviously racing with your brother Lux, and I might ask some questions about him, but he's not really important right now. I just want to ask you, first of all, with Thunder Valley this weekend, the big question I have is you guys only got one moto, and that sucks, but you also got some primetime exposure on Peacock. That's cool. What would you rather have, a little less TV time and exposure or two motos?
I feel like we could maybe do one moto on Saturday and get the exposure that we did at Thunder Valley, and then do like one moto on Friday. Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. So we get our both motos, but they don't have to take away that much time.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that earlier, like how they could do that, and I think I saw a bunch of positive feedback. My co-host here, TJ, said he saw a bunch from you guys being on TV and people getting to watch it. And I think that's really important because you ladies don't get a lot of respect, in my opinion. And I think a lot of the keyboard warriors are like, oh, they look like they're going so slow, when honestly you guys are ripping. And I feel like you deserve more respect, and I want to see WMX grow.
Yeah, me too. It was pretty sick having it on TV because people were like, finally, they need to have it more.
Yeah. Did that feel like it added pressure or anything, knowing you guys were going to be on TV, or did you put that out of your mind?
Yeah, honestly, it made me want it more because I felt like I had more people watching, so I didn't want to do bad.
That's funny. Scotty?
Hey, I was trying to look. I couldn't find it. Did you happen to go back and compare any of your lap times to the last 250 moto?
No, actually.
Okay. I saw in our group chat, I'm in a group chat with some privateers, and some of that was coming up. And I don't remember. I have to look, but they would have certainly been in the program.
And it was on a worse track.
I think there was a few guys that had worse lap times. Let me look at do you have another question? Well, I looked that up, or Scott, TJ?
Yeah, so you mentioned that you enjoyed being in front of the TV and the broadcast and stuff. Did that change your pre-race jitters at all? Did you feel a little more antsy? And then how long did it take you where the adrenaline just took over and you kind of were able to just ride your race?
Oh, yeah. When the TV camera came in my face and they were asking me questions on the gate, that kind of got me a little bit nervous, but I remembered what I'm doing this for, and I'm doing this because I'm having fun. So I just put all that out of the door, and just if I don't win, then I don't win. I'm just having fun.
Yeah, well, because you were quickly after that, you were in a crazy battle, so you kind of had to forget about it.
Yeah, right. That was a sick battle.
So one of the techs said Lala had a faster lap time than 10 of the 250 guys did in their second moto,
and on a worse track.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. So that's pretty impressive.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Tina, did you have one, or do you want me to keep?
No, I was trying to look it up. You just beat me to it.
Oh, okay. So you don't have another question. Well, Lachlan, I also want to ask you about the Oceana Women's MX Cup that you guys went to. You got second in that. Hell of a team, but it sounds like your results were really good there. We just had a couple other issues that kind of cost us, the title, but. Again, this is just more exposure. That's a new event, bringing exposure to what you ladies are doing.
Yeah, that was a very cool opportunity that my team got to do over there. We all did amazing. We all tried our best, but sometimes that doesn't work in our favor.
Yeah, there's always things go wrong and you just never know. But tell me, like, what's the highlight of that trip? What stood out? It's obviously a different country. It's a track you've never been to. So there's a lot of adjustments. I don't know if you were on your own bike or you had to get bikes there. Like, give us a little rundown of how it worked out.
All right, so pretty much right before I went there, I dislocated my shoulder. So I went there with like a dislocated shoulder. So I was just like going there for my experience. And then I didn't ride the team's bike till Thursday, and I got one day on it, like 3 sessions, because it started pouring. So yeah, we brought our suspension, so it was a little better, but yeah, it's something different trying a new bike and having 1 day on it, and then the next day having to race like the fastest girls. So it was pretty sick though.
Oh, okay. What do you think the future of women's MX is going to be? I know, like I said, Christina Denny's involved in this, and Sophie Phelps, I think, helped a little bit with trying to do some promotion. And I love Sophie. I don't know if you guys are tight or not, but I think that having Christina in your corner is going to be very beneficial to this series.
Yeah, me too. Christina is amazing. She works her heart out for us just to get the WMX back, and she's a so cool person. I love her. She does amazing.
Yeah, she used to be the team manager for the Cycle Trader team, the Yamaha Cycle Trader team, and guys like Alex Ray and a number. I think maybe Grant Harlan was on that team at one time. I don't remember all the guys, but Ryan Brees. But she was one of my favorite people when I first started getting into this quote unquote media thing and going to races. She was so welcoming and so sweet. Her and her husband, Chris, just amazing, amazing people.
Yeah, they are. They're amazing. Yeah.
So I mentioned Sophie a little bit ago, and obviously you have your race battles, and do the girls get along better than the guys? Is there much ego in the WMX?
I mean, there is quite a bit of egos going around, but for the most part, we all get along great off the track. And then we just whatever happens on the track happens on the track.
So no real hard feelings. Like I think Michaela, who ran into, or her and Stallings crashed. Kylie, and I saw a little bit of a comment on her Instagram. She's like, well, I guess I just have to learn to race against riders like that. That's a little shade on Kylie, but that's normal in the boys. But like in the girls, in my mind, I'm like, oh, they're not throwing shade, but I guess they are.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I wish there was a little bit more of that in WMX just to keep things exciting. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Well, then that needs to be you. You got to start throwing shade.
I was about to say, you just found your lane.
Yeah.
Her results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Well, she's got to be like Hayden and be like, yeah, man. I mean, I'm the man, right?
Yeah, just talk trash.
Start telling them they're all cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
So this may sound really dumb to say this, but I know it's a big deal with the guys as far as training, where they're working on, like, you have to be so physically strong. With women's physiques are being a little less naturally muscular. Do you have to work extra hard to build muscle? I mean, it's a lot of bike, and we all ride, so we know exactly how much weight you're having to throw around. Do you have to focus more on that?
No, I just recently started training, actually training, because I used to just ride on the weekends and then just couch it all week. But I went to club, and honestly, I was just doing the same thing as the kids at club, and it's been working out fine.
Yeah. So what would you say is your strongest attribute on the bike, and what do you maybe enjoy doing the most when riding?
Honestly, I feel more stronger in my legs. I got pretty strong legs for the most part, so I can use them. But I feel more. I kind of forgot what the question was.
And then taking that, what is your favorite thing to do on the track? What is your where do you feel like you're the fastest?
Probably in the ruts, like the deep corners.
So
I
That's where
love
I'm
the
the worst.
corners.
yeah. So where the people in this room that I'm in are the worst.
No, I like ruts.
You suck in ruts.
That's
though. I've
how
seen
I
you
know.
ride.
That's how I know I'm slow. Is because every time we have like a fast rider
Yeah.
on, they always talk about the things that I hate in riding.
Exactly. Yep. That's why we're here, and she's a champion.
Yep. Number one plate.
Yeah, you mentioned
yeah.
you mentioned Club MX, and we had Coty Schock on first, and then Aden Keefer was on right before you, and he was there today. I've been there a couple of times for events and got to ride. I love that facility, and actually, I think Mike Bonacci is listening right now, but so don't say anything bad. But I absolutely love Club MX. I think it's just amazing. I've said that a bunch of times tonight. What is your overall thoughts on Club? Because you grew up on the West Coast in California. So it's very, very different.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I love that place. Everyone's like positive, and that's just what I need. And then the tracks are amazing. They do an amazing job. If like it's raining, they have like a sand track. And I love that they switch it up so it's like never gets old. Like on the main track, they like switch it up like different sections. It's sick. I love it there.
Yeah, so Coty was telling us I call it the anthill, the big pile that I guess they changed into a little bit of a triple, but that thing is, well, I didn't jump it when it was a triple. It was just a step up basically. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And that step up after it, when you make the left, those were big goals for me to get over a month or so ago. And I even like the sand track in the back, the OG sand track. That thing is gnarly.
Dude, that thing is so sick, especially when all the pros get on it and make it rough. It's amazing.
That's not normal. Okay, we don't.
It is for.
I like that track the most.
There you go. See, that's the Zach Osborne track. Yeah, great place. A couple more questions for you. Let's talk about growing up with a brother who's really fast too, Lux Turner, and. You know, were you ever faster than him? Who got into it first? Was there sibling rivalries on the track? And how did mom handle having two kids out there racing?
Yeah, honestly, my dad used to race, and then they had my brother, and so my dad stopped, and then my brother was on a PW, and then we had to take 5 years off for like family issues. And then we came back like 6 years ago, and my parents were like, let's do this. So Lux was on a 125 and I was on an 85, and then it just went from there. Like we wanted it so bad, and we were just having so much fun, and that's where it got us.
Well, that's great. That's what it takes. One, having fun. Obviously you guys have talent, and I'm still waiting for Lux to show how good he can be, because there's been moments. And I really like your brother. I don't know you that well, but I've enjoyed talking to you when I met you. So,
have you ever beat him? Like you're just riding.
I thought you were looking at me and you were asking me that. I was like, no.
Yeah, I've never beat him, but that is my goal. I want to beat him eventually.
Absolutely, well, you can do it. Especially, this weekend. I think he had a bike failure, but we don't want to do it that way. But both the AEO riders, Avery and Lux, both had issues, unfortunately.
Yeah, in that second moto, bummer, but
all right. So
it happens.
I want to ask you. I got two more questions for you. I don't know if do you have anything else before?
Go
okay.
ahead.
I've already mentioned, right? We're trying to bring WMX back. We're trying to get it more notoriety, but unfortunately, right now, there's not a huge future for women's motocross as far as like making a living. What are your plans outside of racing? If obviously you want to keep doing this, but what else are you going to do?
Yeah, nothing. I just plan to go pro and race the men. So that's my goal. I'm going to try hard every time I get out on the bike, because I want to eventually race the men.
That's a fantastic answer. I like that. And I know that was asked in the press conference, and Jordan kind of talked about it a little bit. I would love to see that. What about Supercross? Is that something that you want to try, or just stick to outdoors?
Yeah. I want to try Supercross. I've been wanting to. My dad just is holding me back a little bit, but I think we're going to try practicing on it at the end of this year.
Okay.
See where that goes.
Awesome. All right. Well, my last question is, I mentioned the press conference, and I was watching it, and you were laughing a lot. I feel like there was something going on that we couldn't see, or you were just nervous. But I was wondering if you would want to tell us why you were laughing.
Oh yeah, I'm called Miss Giggles, so like anyone makes me laugh. But Charlie's team owner Yuri was like stuffing his mouth full of peanuts, and that they were pulling out and just like waving his hands, trying to get my attention. It was funny.
That's great. Yeah, Yuri Konsky. I like him. He's cool. Well, this has been really a lot of fun, Lachlan. I'm very impressed with you and all the ladies racing, and I just want to see it grow. I think it's good for our sport. I want more girls to get into it. Again, it's just really good for the sport, and I appreciate you coming on here tonight, and good luck. You got like a long break, so that's kind of good. I think the next one's at Ironman in, I don't know, August?
Yeah, I got Loretta Originals and Loretta's before that.
Yeah.
So just grinding until then.
All right. Well, my regionals this weekend in Texas, I almost for sure will not make it, but we're going to give it our best. But maybe I'll see you at Loretta's.
Yeah, see you then.
All right, Lachlan. Good luck, and thanks for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Take care. All right. That's Lachlan Turner tonight, brought to you by Yamaha Motor USA. Again, I hope that our listeners and the fans of the sport will accept. And
you don't even have to say that. Like we know.
Well, but some people suck, right? There's people that suck out there, but like
but don't pander to them.
Okay. Good job. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
She's kicking.
We use Jarvis as an example. She never. I don't know if she ever actually made a night show. Maybe once, but she was up there like.
She made Fast 40 a lot.
Yeah, for the outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like for Supercross.
I think that a few of the time, not every time, but a few of the times she got in because people as an alternate.
Yes, but
first she probably did make it a few times on her own. I'm not positive on that.
But as far as like for Supercross, like she went through getting her the Supercross futures the same time Doc did.
Yep.
And I mean, she she ran over him once. I mean, like they were close enough. Yeah. So
do you remember? Maybe it wasn't the Fly Ride Day you went to, because I went to 2 of those Fly Ride Days. Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't, because I went. It was the Makeup to Mud Ride Day at Cycle and Ranch.
I remember
that I went to.
I didn't go.
Jordan blew by me.
She's so fast.
And I slowed it down on the video that I had, and it still looked like she was going like wide open almost. And it's crazy.
Like I said, she was no joke, and she's still a great rider. So
absolutely,
yeah. TV doesn't do it justice. Like you watch the leaders in the 250 and 450 class, and then goes to them like, oh yeah, they're going slow. They are not going slow.
Well, Sophie, I think finished 7th or 8th at Thunder Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that day at Mesquite, that the Aden and Chris thing went down and all that, she was there. Yeah, she was.
Yeah,
like probably 15, 20 seconds left.
I think with the development of the training facilities and the way the riders are going up, like I think Lala is the next step or Lachlan, she wants to be called, is the next step towards that gap for the girls to be able to compete with the guys. Because like I usually watch like Loretta's and Minios and stuff. I watch like the Racer TV when I'm just dinking around the house.
Yeah.
And I can't remember her name, but there was this girl in one of this like the 50 or 65 classes that was like podium, like getting on the podium.
Sure.
And like I don't know, maybe as they develop, when she gets older, maybe that gap grows. But I think that they
tightens up. You mean like they get closer to the dudes? Is that what you mean?
Well, further away because the development and the way guys mature.
I see what you're saying. I'm with you.
So when they're younger, like it's already happening where the girls are getting podiums at these amateur nationals in the boys class. Like I think that eventually will get there where I'm not saying that there's going to be a girl that wins, but I think that where they can have a path where they do it. I think there will be a couple girls that do it.
But it still would be nice if there was some money in WMX. Like if the OEMs would, it's not going to be millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, but there should be some good purses for what these girls are doing. And maybe they don't make a living out of it, but give them more opportunity than they get.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, ETS Racing Fuels. ETS Racing Fuels was forged from the heat of competition nearly 30 years ago, developing purpose-engineered fuel for high-profile teams in highly competitive series. We've been the power behind many podium wins ever since. Teams using ETS Racing Fuels have won more than 50 national and world champion titles, and we continue to forge new alliances and partnerships across motorsports. ETSRacingFuels.com for a local distributor. ETS Racing Fuels supporting teams like Factory KTM, Factory HRC Honda, Crushing It Outdoors, Jet Lawrence, Rockstar Husqvarna, Rockstar Gas, Factory Triumph, and many more. Speaking of ETS and our turds takes, Hudson did not make it this weekend. A couple falls and issues cost him, but he's not done yet.
How far off was he?
Don't know.
How many more chances does he have?
He probably signed up for every region.
Yeah, I think he's done a couple regions. He might actually be done this year because he's missed 2 now, right? I think so.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's 4.
Are you allowed to do more than 2? Okay.
You can do as many.
Yeah, he said he's not done, so I could probably go back and find the text and see what he said.
He'll get in.
But yeah, he'll be all right.
I mean, it's good for kids.
Do they let, like, if you already made it in, can you still go race other regionals?
You can, but it has to do with what you consider your home. What's considered your home region? They'll take you from that, and if somebody was already qualified in their home region, then if they made the top 6.
That's a lot to keep up with. Just let them know. Like, if you made it, you made it. Let somebody else go.
Oh no, they want to go race their competition.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
T-Bolt USA top 5. You're supposed to read this one.
If you are a pit bike enthusiast and love shredding around on a CRF 110, KLX 110, or whatever you have, you need TBoltUSA.com marked on your web browser. T-Bolt USA is a pit bike supply site that has everything you need for your pit bike. You can find handlebar kits featuring BBR, Pro Taper bars, D&M shocks, and even full bikes from YCF, Pitch to Pro, and Piranha. T-Bolt has it. They even have the stuff for those Chinese bikes that are so difficult to find. You'll find pit bikes, engines, and parts at tboltusa.com.
Pretty good. Okay, the top 5 this week, we decided, was top 5 funny things. This also came from Stephen Hall. Funny things your kids said, I said, or did, if you want to add things they did. Yeah, so TJ?
You want me to go first?
For Scotty, we said you could pick somebody else because you don't have a kid.
Yeah, I put some stuff together.
All right, TJ, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I got to get my notes out because I actually took notes on this one. They're not in any particular order. I raised, people who don't know, I raised 2 boys. They are characters in their own right. My oldest son, which I don't know if either one of y'all have met. You met Jonathan.
I met him once, yeah.
But he's a very, very, very dry, serious kid, like to the point, always hilarious to be around. He has a great sense of humor. But when he was probably like 4, do I have time to give?
Yeah, have at it, man.
I'm
not hungry or anything. I'm just joking. Go ahead.
See this?
I was joking.
For people who don't know,
so freaking emotional.
I met my wife.
You weren't joking.
I met my wife right after he was born, and so I adopted Jonathan.
Okay,
my oldest son. And when he was about 4 or 5 years old, we did the adoption, and my wife was trying to explain to him, like, "Hey, your dad and didn't help your mom make you, blah, blah, blah." He's like, because he's been there. I've been there his whole life. I've been dad his whole life. And she tried to explain it to him. And he looked at her like super serious and was like, "Mom, you don't even know what you're talking about." And it was just hilarious. Like, it was just one of those things where, whatever. And then one time, Doc, when he first got on his P-Dub, he was racing around the yard. And he was like going around the house. I don't know if y'all had ever been to where my old house was in Bullard. He's going around it through the field, coming down the driveway, going faster and faster and faster. And we had these 2 humps in the yard. And I was watching him, and my wife watching him, and he hadn't been on the bike that long. And I was like, I probably should go slow him down because, I mean, he's going faster and faster. And as I stepped out to go slow him down, he went off the little hump. And it just should never have gotten air. Shouldn't have been going that fast on a PW. And like bounced and swapped, and he hit the ground. The bike landed on top of him. They bounced together. The bike hits the ground. He lands on top of it, and then they both go tumbling. I mean, it's wide open as fast as you go in a PW. And I run up, and he's sitting there just shaking, like, ah, like that. And I'm like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Where does it hurt?" And he goes, "It hurts everywhere." He said, "Everywhere." It was so funny. And then my last one, I know it's only 3. I got a million of them, but they take longer. Whenever Jonathan was whatever age you are when you start questioning Christmas and Santa Claus.
Okay.
He comes up to me, and remember, very serious kid. "Dad?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." And he's like, "Is Santa Claus real?" And I looked at him, and I'm like, "Well, son, I've never lied to you. I will never lie to you. So if you really want to know the answer to that question, then you just ask me again." And he looked at me with this real serious look, like just studying my face. And I could see on it he didn't want to hear the answer, and he just turned around and walked away.
That's awesome.
That's very good.
Want to go?
Yeah, I can go. So I was able to put together 4. One of them's from my fiance, one of them's from my buddy's kid, One of them's one that my dad loves to tell about me when I was a kid.
Okay.
And then another one's just one from the internet that cracks me up.
MotoXpodshow@gmail.com if you want to share your stories with us.
These could be good. These emails could be
good. So my fiance Jasmine, one time we'd only been dating for a little while, and I don't remember, we were getting up to go somewhere, we're going to do something, and we were like leaving, and she had forgot something, and she went, "Oh shit, my shit." And I don't know why it just
in a moment,
just in the moment she's like, "Oh shit, my shit," and it just like we use it as like a reoccurring joke like all the time, like, "Oh shit, my shit." Yeah. My buddy's daughter, they were at Walmart one time, and they were walking through the aisles and everything, and they walked by this lady, and his daughter went, she's like, "Oh my God, you're so pretty." And the lady's like, "Oh, thank you so much. That is so sweet of you to say." And then they kept walking. She turned to her dad and she said, "She wasn't really pretty. I was just trying to be nice."
That's good.
Kids are awesome.
And then the one from the internet is that kid. I forgot what the context of the video is, but he's like, "Well, hello, motherfucker."
I don't know that one off the top of my head, but there's a lot of things like
that. That was one of them. And then when my dad loves to tell the story. I think it was my 4th or 5th birthday. I had gotten a Barney watch for my birthday.
Oh boy!
So I was back. I was
that age.
Yeah. So I put the Barney watch on, and I'm wearing it, and one of the people at the party goes, "Scott, what time is it?" And I looked at the watch. I said, "It's time for cake." Yeah. My dad tells that story at least once a year. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, my memory's terrible, so I actually struggled with this one.
Yeah,
but I think I've told this story on here before. It's kind of my favorite story about my blood son, because I have stepdaughters. Most people know that. But I got called in for like a parent-teacher conference or whatever, like really early in a school year, and it had to be 4th or 5th grade, maybe 6th grade. But and the teacher's like, gave the kids the sheet the first day to fill out. And one of the things on there was, "What does respect mean to you?" And he wrote, "Respect, walk," which is the lyrics from Pantera. And I was just laughing. And she's like, "I don't get it." And I'm like, "Well," I said, "it's probably not good."
How old was he?
It was before they were playing team sports, like in school, so it had to be like 5th grade.
That's awesome.
I was like, it's just a proud dad moment. I said, it's a lyric from a Pantera song, and she just didn't react. I was like, I don't know, man. I
like, she was upset
I'm
about
cool
it?
with it.
I don't think she was upset. She just didn't get it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that one really stuck out.
That's a good one.
When he was just a toddler, like barely walking, we were walking out to the car, and he had food in his hand. I wrote down donut, but I don't think it was a donut, but whatever. And like, I opened the car door and didn't know he was so close, and it hit him in the head, and he just fell back on his butt and his diaper like a kid would. And I thought, and it hit him hard. And I was like, "Oh crap, he's about to cry."
We've all done this.
And I looked at him, he goes, "I dropped my donut." And that was like it wasn't a donut, whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
It's pretty good.
He came to me at the age of 12, 13.
Yeah.
And he was crying, and he was worried, and he had this deep conversation I could tell he wanted to have with me. And I was like, "Just tell me, buddy, it's fine. You're going to be upset." And like, I mean, my mind's going, he doesn't like girls, and he's scared or to tell me. And he goes, "I think I'm Jewish." Or I want to be Jewish. His step grandfather on his mom's side was Jewish. And I was like, "Okay." He goes, "I thought you'd be upset." I was like, "Cool, man."
Yeah, you do you, man.
We'll start saving me money, son.
Right?
Is he Jewish?
No, that didn't last.
It didn't
That didn't last. Then my stepdaughter, Taylor, used to be terrified of tornadoes. So this was more like a thing that happened. Anytime it was even dark outside, she'd be like, "The sky's purple. It's going to tornado. We're going to die." So that just made me laugh all because she always thought a tornado was coming. Not that funny, really.
No,
it's just a memory.
that's
So today,
good stuff.
we're driving, just real quick, something about that story. Today we're driving back, my mom and I and Kathy, we all went to lunch, and we're driving back in my mom's truck, but she didn't want to drive, so she's sitting in the back seat. Kathy and I sitting up front, and the clouds, I don't know if it was like that here, but it was black sky.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about it was really bad, bad wind. It was coming down, and my mom first was like had some gum and she went to spit it out the window, so she cracked the back window and it started buffering. So and Kathy tornado. Both of us, we were like, ah!
Right. And this one, just your Barney watch made me think of this. So Gunner's older sister, who was 2 when I met her mom, and I helped raise her for a number of years. That was the era of Barney, right? 97, 98, 99.
Yeah.
Love Barney. We went to Blockbuster Video, and she wanted to stand there looking, probably 5, 6 years old, looking at the Barney videos. And she's like, I want to rent this Barney. And I was so sick of Barney. And I was like, Barney died.
Oh, no.
And she just started crying. And there were some teenagers there that thought that was hilarious, and they were laughing. And I felt really bad.
It was that one.
What are we doing? Oh, the Barney watch.
Yeah,
Nice.
the Barney watch. Yeah,
those are my stories. I think I'm short, 1 or 2, and like
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I only told 3.
They were long. Yeah,
they get long, but yeah, that was awesome.
Okay, let's jump into Barnett clutches. Pick one. I didn't give you a heads up on this.
Okay, cool.
Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits have 75 years of experience behind every kit, engineered for maximum performance. Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials formulated exclusively for Barnett. Get yours at barnettclutches.com and get 10% off with that code VITALMX, all caps. Guys, I always say, if you're riding a lot, at some point you're going to burn your clutch up. You're going to overheat it. If you ride at Thunder Valley, maybe you smoke your clutch. Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits all day long. Okay, pick one. Franchises: Terminator, Predator, Alien.
I never got into
Alien and Predator go together. Literally, their universes go together.
Yeah.
But
Terminator.
Okay, give me like just a quick reason why. What do you like about Terminator better?
I like robots.
Okay.
I like robots.
I like robots. That's it? That's it? Okay. All right, cool.
I'm not retarded or anything, but I like robots.
That's why I said it that way.
And Scotty, you never got into any of them?
I mean, I guess I've seen some of the Predator and Alien movies. I've never seen any of the Terminator movies.
That's wild. The
I
first
know.
one is so good. The second one's pretty damn good too.
All of them are good.
I guess I need to go back and
the one with the girl, the third one sucked.
I need to go back and watch them. Predator's cool.
That's going to be my pick. I think overall, I like Predator the best. I started rewatching.
The Alien ones are.
I started rewatching those. I watched the original from which that was old. That was like 70s or late 60s. Like,
no, it wasn't 70s.
I think look up
go ahead.
Alien. It's called Alien.
Yeah,
when that came out.
with Sigourney Weaver.
I will say that
the second one I think came out in the early 80s. I think the first one was like 78.
We watched a movie the other night going to bed, and then like it kept playing other movies like from like Hulu or whatever. And so when I woke up, it was playing. It was in like the middle of playing Alien, like I think the original one.
Okay.
And I was actually like pretty impressed at how like cool like the ship they were in looked for
on the inside.
Yeah,
79.
Because that's
you're right. Because
that's like late 70s, early 80s, and I thought the production of that was really good.
Wow.
I somewhat agree, but when they showed like the ship flying away, the wide shots, it's really bad.
Yeah, but inside,
and you think Star Wars was around that time much better. So like that, but still,
yeah. But the inside the ship was really cool.
But I really like. I think overall, I like the Predator movies. I do like how they tie in with Alien.
Yeah,
and if you go,
Sigourney Weaver's so hot too.
I remember watching one of the Alien
Predator
versus
2 with Danny Glover. I don't know, was it Glover? Anyway, it doesn't matter. At the end, I didn't know this when I first watched it. They go into the Predator ship, and there's like alien skulls hanging, kind of telling you about that tie-in, which I didn't catch at the time. But overall, the like Predator movies, especially like some of the newer ones, like Prey and Predators,
it was Glover,
was really good. Okay, so anyway. MotoXpodShow@gmail.com if you want to give us your thoughts.
And old Gary Busey.
Yeah. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Loretta's regional this weekend, Underground.
Oh, that's this weekend?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. I guess I'll be real here.
Do you need a pit crew?
I can't be there. I was going to
Michael Gage is going with me. And he texted me today, and he's like, are you ready for some moto this weekend? And I was like,
no, Michael.
You want me to be honest? No. Like, with everything going on, we talked last week about my job situation. So if you listened last week, you know.
Yeah,
it hit me pretty hard Friday.
Yeah.
And I have not slept much. I have not eaten much. Like I'm a little worried right now.
We're gonna start eating
because none of the opportunities that I've kind of had or people I talk to are things that are going to work for me. The local opportunity, I'm still not sure about yet. So yeah, I'm legitimately a little concerned, a little worried. I know I got a ton of...
You'll find something, bro.
I got a ton of listeners and people saying, hey, man, things are going to work out, blah, blah. And I know that. But that's not easy when you're in this seat.
I
right?
know.
So
I've been in that seat.
yeah, it's so. But anyway, I'm not
For
really
2 days.
excited about going and racing my regional at all. I don't want to ride. I'm not interested in riding at all. But I'm
You
gonna
know
go.
what?
Maybe that'd be better.
That might help.
Might
you.
be. I can
'Cause you
tell you,
might-
I did
'cause-
ride
'cause you-
Sunday, and I rode like shit.
You need to figure out a way to get some sleep. I don't know if you need to take some melatonin or something. Figure it out.
That messes me up. Like I have
Or
nightmares.
ZQL or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure.
If you want, before me and TJ leave, I can rack you up the back of the head with a bat and just knock you out.
Give me a concussion.
Yeah. But I think that because that's kind of always your thing when you get into those race situations, you kind of get all nervous.
Yeah,
I mean, I do
maybe.
too. I'm guilty of it as well. But
Well-
and you kind of don't ride yourself. Like maybe this is what you need.
In the privateer group chat, they asked me a little bit about is your race this weekend? Yeah, I said Jeff Emig isn't going to know what hit him. Hopefully, joking like I'm going to hit Emig.
Yeah, I mean, better
We
get
got
a
it.
damn good
It's a
start.
bad joke, I guess.
We got the joke.
I got
I
it.
meant before the race even starts. Just hit him.
Yeah.
He's not going to know what hit him.
That's the only time
I
you're going to
hope.
be close to him is when
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
pits.
Okay, I think that's everything. I'm kind of looking back through the notes. There's really nothing that I feel like we have to get to.
Are we doing picks?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's going to be the last thing. I think that's good.
You can just ride with reckless abandonment
Sure.
because you
But
have.
I can't afford to get hurt now.
No, but you can because you have at least
No.
4 weeks of a paycheck. So as long as you can heal in 4
Well, it's
weeks.
Vital's bike, so just rag it
Yeah,
out.
but if I get hurt while I was working at Vital, that's like, well, it's kind of part of your job. If I get hurt and I'm trying to get another job, I'm like, well, I'm hurt. I can't come to work right away. I'm like, yeah, F you,
No,
dude.
but you got 4 weeks to heal.
5, I think.
5 weeks to heal.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's plenty.
So send it. Reckless abandonment.
FXR is designed by racers for racers with industry-leading fit, finish, and performance. Progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible. Used by Muck Off, FXR Club MX Yamaha, Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Keefer, Benny Bloss, and many more. FXR has core motor roots, so visit fxrracing.com and check out the best gear on the market. FXR picks for High Point. You guys want to do 450 and 250? Like, I kind of feel like they're all getting pretty boring a little bit.
Okay.
You feel like doing both?
Sure.
All right. I'll go first. I'm sticking with Eli to win. Jet AP. Let's do 450s first. Scotty?
I'm going to keep picking it till it happens. Tomac,
Yep. Same me.
Jet, Hunter.
TJ.
And I guess Sexton's not going to be back, obviously, when no one's talked about it.
No, I think he's not expected
Redbud,
back for a
right?
while. We were actually, I did talk to ML today. Lewis may not make it this week. I mean, Lewis isn't feeling. He doesn't like his personal. We were just joking, like if Lewis doesn't make it this weekend, it'd be pretty funny if like Prado wins and Chase shows up.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Ooh,
but no, Chase is not going to be there this
man,
weekend. So who are your picks?
I want to put Prado on the podium just because I'm such a fan, but I can't do that. And watch he finally, like you said, does make it. But anyways, I would say probably going to be Jet, AP, Tomac.
Alrighty. Okay, and for the 250s, I went Hymus again, Hayden, Joe. Scotty?
I'm going to go Deegan, Hymus, Marchbanks.
Marchbanks is not a bad pick. TJ?
I think I'd go Deegan, Hymus, and Kitchen. I think Kitchen's going to.
I hope so. You know I'm a OK fan.
Yeah.
I think Deegs looked a little under the weather, and he looked a little
He's
weak.
not
so
going to go. He's
so I'm
not going
not
to go
sure.
2 weeks in a row without.
Probably not. But
I think we're in shape for a really good Hymus Deegan battle.
yeah,
So that I'm looking forward to that.
sure. Okay. I want to thank our presenting sponsors, Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. I also want to thank X Brand, Evans Coolant, Guts Racing, T-Boat USA, Barnett Clutches, ETS Racing Fuels, FXR, ProX. I want to thank Coty Schock, Lachlan Turner, and Aden Keefer, Club MX for jumping on here a little bit in the text and giving us some information, all that. It's been a really fun show. If you're listening on YouTube, appreciate you. If you're listening later on, appreciate you guys. We're back next week.